Greetings everyone. Welcome to this CAPF 2024 Paper 2 answer writing session. This lecture is focused entirely on report making, and we will be learning how to write a report, how it is to be written, what format to follow. Let us have a look. The aim of this lecture, why this lecture is happening, to explain basic answer writing formats, how to write an essay, how to think before writing an essay, how to collect resources in an essay and report. This is a lecture of three parts. This first part right now we are dealing with report. Next will be of essay followed by argument. So you will have three lectures. The format of the lectures would be the same. Their content will vary, and avoiding basic errors in the question that you are writing. Now, who this is made for? This lecture series is made for. This is made for beginners to the exam. You're very new. You don't know much about the CPF. You have just started and you're still figuring out your basics. So this is for you who are new to the conventional exam format, might be ex-servicemen or other categories, people who have cleared other exams or are in job but have never given a conventional exam within UPSC before. So this is for them. And for those aspirants who are new and also slightly old, who may have given an attempt or so, but they have never had a proper guidance for paper 2. So this is designed for them, and also for Hindi medium students who have shifted to English medium or who have their graduation in English medium, but they still find it very difficult. Now, the expected duration of this will be about 40-45 minutes, because it is report, it is a 10 marker, it won't take much time. Essay and argument might be slightly longer. So, as everyone knows, you get two reports to write. Both are 10 markers each. You have to write within 200 words. So, you don't have to waste too much time, because you have to write it within 8 minutes, and preferably, yeah, 8 to 9 minutes at most. You should not cross 10 at any cost, because even if you write within 8, you save 2 minutes for your essay or argument, which is of 20 marks, so you have more scope of attaining marks, because out of 10 marks the maximum you can score is 5 or maybe a 6. Above 6 is not possible in the exam. So out of 6, even if you write an average, you might get 3.5. Even if you write slightly good, you may reach up to 4.5. But if you save time here and you put it on the essay, you might improve 2 to 3 marks, while here you may jump by only 1 mark. So a very well formatted essay can easily push you to 4 marks straight away. So that's how you increase your marks: 3.5, 4. So a good format, a neat presentation always puts you at a higher level. Now, what I'll be explaining in this next uh, sometime is, I'll try to go a bit slowly. So, what is the basic format of a QCAB? What is the basic format you have to follow in answering? What to do and what not to do. Now, what not to do is much more important right now, because you are a beginner in the exam. What to do can be improved and matured with time. Now, this is what to do is not something you learn within half an hour, 1 hour. I explain something to you. So if after my explanation you write and you don't see much improvement, why? Because it will take a long time to build up. It takes at least 6 months to build up to a very proper level that you can consistently score between 5 to 6 marks. So, what not to do can assure you to rise from your 1 or 2 marks until 4 right now. So, that is a good jump you will see. What to do, I will explain. This is not a very advanced lecture, this is designed for beginners. I will take another lecture in some time, which will be focused on advanced tactics and how to secure higher marks in paper 2. That will be for veteran aspirants or those who have written paper 2 before but not able to secure more than 70 marks. So I will be taking session for them. Before I start, I will give a brief intro of myself. I have written civil services mains previously. I have cleared CAPF assistant commandant written exam, and I've also scored 100 plus marks. And I've cleared CDS 6 times with a score ranging from 155 to 192. So, so I assure you that what I am going to be teaching you will be relevant to the exam and you will find use of it. So please stay with me and please understand these things in their utmost depth. Now, I will show evaluated answer copies which I have done from this, and also I will be explaining how you are supposed to write your answer copy so that it is not only easier for us to check but also for you to write. So that is one thing. I have been evaluating your papers for quite a long time within this institute, and so I'll be taking some from them, and also PYQ solved copies written by the CPF toppers and veterans. This has been provided to you. This it is freely available on the Telegram channel, and you can. And what I want you to do is after this lecture, I want you to take this CAPF toppers copies, and I want you to go through it, read through the reports which are given there. Just read it. I'm not saying exact question is going to come again this year, but you need to read it so that you understand what type of format do the toppers write. You will find 2 to 3 formats written across the papers. A little bit variation will come, but yes. So you get to know the different ways the answer can be written. So you have to prepare as per that. You need to follow what they have written because that is what fetches the marks and that is what is correct thing to do. Your language may vary a bit from them. That is your choice. It varies person to person, but you need to follow the format which they have given. In report, the format is of paramount importance. If you get the format right, that means you are going the correct way because there is not much to change in the report. What is happening in current affairs is to be put in the report. The data and the current affairs things, all that will be the same for you as for any other aspirant because everyone is reading the same newspaper, the Hindu, the Indian Express. Everyone is coming with the same kind of knowledge. The people who clear the exam, I'm saying. So everyone will write almost a similar thing in report. The only thing which you can assure for yourself as a beginner is that you get the format correct, and along with the format, you are able to generate some quality content to write with it. Not very exceptional, not anything too big or too fancy, just simple thing which you can write down. That is our basic aim in this. I will try to go a bit slower, I know, because I tend to speak a bit fast here. Okay, so now first, before we tackle straight into the essay, what do we have to understand? We have to understand our tools here. What does UPSC give us? UPSC gives us the QCAB. Now, what is the meaning of a QCAB? QCAB means question come answer booklet. Now, these are freely available and can be downloaded on the UPSC website. So you can go to UPSC website, you can see the QCAB types, and you can download the QCAB for I think CAPF 2020. The copy is there or 21. I'm not sure. Yeah, but one of them is there, so you can have a look. I want you to read through all pages. Read through all pages of that, and then you will be able to understand what will come in front of you in the exam because you need to be comfortable in the exam. You need to know beforehand what is going to happen with you, what paper you are going to get, how many pages does that QCAB contain, what are the instructions written on the QCAB. Everything you should know beforehand. Why? Because this is the tool. This is the thing which examiner sees. Examiner does not know how hard you have worked. Examiner does not know what efforts you have taken to prepare. Examiner doesn't know anything. He just sees a bunch of words written in front of him. Now he decides if it is good or not. Decides if it is relevant or not. It is entirely up to him, and it is your duty to convince him that what he is doing is correct and what you are answering is correct. So you have to read through the pages. Now, one thing you will notice here that all the QCAP pages, the UPSC page is not an A4 page. UPSC pages are shorter than A4 page, and there are two margins on the right hand side. I'll show right now. There are two margins on the right hand side, and that has to be taken care of. You cannot cross the margin. Now, this is the official size of the UPSC paper, 16 by 23 centimeter. This is the size where you are able to write. This 16 by 23 is the writing size, not the size of the paper. Writing size. Okay. Now, how do you achieve the size in daily practice? A4 with 1 inch reduction on 4 sides. Now, this is your A4 page. Okay. Now, what you do is you take this, you put 1 inch here, you put 1 inch here, you put 1 inch here, and you put 1 inch here. So now you have what? You have your 23 centimeter and you have your 16 centimeter. So you have your sizes in front of you. Sorry, it will come the other way. Yeah, yeah. So it will come. So you have to reduce 1 inch on all four sides. So this will be 1 inch and this will be 1 inch. Yeah. So this is how you will do. Now, what is the why I am asking you to do this? Now that is a very important question. Why should I do it? I mean, many aspirants ask me, candidates ask me that, sir, why are we doing this? I say that this is what you will face in the exam. Writing, the presentation, the structure, the size, everything matters in the exam, and you need to be prepared for that. Suppose you write in a blank A4 page, you write in a blank A4 page, and you write from the end to end, you write the entire thing, and you cram up the page until the very last edge, and then you say that, sir, I am not able to fill 2 pages in the exam. How will I write it? Because you are not writing as per the size of the UPSC. You have to follow this, you have to get into the practice of this. And another benefit which I feel is that you have space in all the four margins for you to write your comments after. After you have written, you read your own report and you can write your comments that, see, in this segment, I have done this thing wrong, or this segment, I can add this. And not only that, as an evaluator, also, I have more space to write comments that, see, you can do this, you can do that. So it is comfortable for me as well as for you. So you are more prepared because in the report you have 2 pages. You have to keep in mind. You get 2 pages only. And if you strike out, if you commit any mistake, you don't have the space to correct it and rewrite it. So there are 2 pages for you of 16 by 23 size. So you have to space out your paragraphs, that you write 3 paragraphs here, 3 paragraphs in the next page. Then only you will be able to complete the 2 pages entirely. You have to write 200 words, you have to write it in 2 pages. Now if you cram up 150 words and you write 50 words in the second page, suppose this is the second page over here. Okay, this, yeah. Suppose this is your second page, this is your first page on the left, second page on the right. You wrote 150 words here and you wrote 50 words here and you covered it up within this segment. Now your second half is entirely blank. So what did you achieve by this, I'm asking? If you leave this entire segment blank, the examiner will think you did not write properly or you did not space out properly. You have to leave spaces, you have to write in such a way that you reach 200 to, you do not leave the space blank, you complete up to the last. And if you have less content in a report, which may very well happen, you have to finish within 1.5 pages. If you write shorter than 1.5 pages, it does not bode you well, it is not good. So that you have to take in mind. Next thing is you have to write in unruled pages. You Many students take ruled copies and then they start writing. Now, if you are a beginner to writing, and I have seen some copies where students write like this. See, they are writing tedha, like inclined. Now, if you are writing like this, then I would suggest two things to correct this. First thing, you may you may take ruled copies for a while. If inclined writing, what you are supposed to do, you may take ruled copies for a while, okay, for practice. Second thing is use a ruler slash scale to correct. What I am saying by this, to use a ruler or a scale, what I mean by this is that you take a ruler, scale, जो भी आप कहते हो, whatever you say, You take that, you keep that in front of you, and suppose this is your second page you are writing, and you are writing like this. Now you take the ruler. When you're writing, you keep this ruler above your above wherever you're writing. Suppose you are writing here, so you keep the ruler right on top of it, so that you know you are not going cross. You write in a straight line. Okay, so that thing can be done. So that will improve this inclined error, which is happening with many. It happens either you go down or you go up. It happens anyway. So that is a thing. Next thing is, please, while submitting, you have to follow a format: your name, your essay, your name, your topic. So let me give an example. Suppose we are writing a report, you write REP underscore whatever your name is. For example, Rahul is your name, and then uh, your topic is suppose National Education Policy dot PDF. That is all. That is what you have to submit. You have to write REP underscore your name underscore topic, any short topic, so that we understand what is within the essay. You don't need to write the entire topic. Writing in this format is important and imperative. It helps us in processing. And second thing, why I strongly insist on writing the name, because you have to follow instructions, you have to follow protocols. Once you join the CAPF, you have to follow a list of protocols, whatever your senior or commanding officer gives you. If you are not able to follow a simple format as such as this, then it is a matter of big concern for you. So please take care. Please ensure to follow proper format of 16 by 23, naming in the correct order, naming the file properly, writing in the proper spellings. Those things are to be taken care of. Why? Because it is the small things which will push you from your current 1 mark out of 10 in essay to a sure shot 4, and with improvement 5 or 5.5. That is the progress which we will try to see in this session. So this session is aimed on jumping from 1 to 4. The next session, which I will be taking after a short while, after the completion of this series, will be on how to jump from 4 to 6. That will be a nuanced session for not the beginners, for veterans and other candidates who are trying to improve and who have completed their syllabus. Now, how to make a PDF? I know you're not supposed to make a PDF in the exam, but for submission purposes, since we are dealing online and not offline, I suggest using an Adobe Scan app. Adobe Scan is actually pretty good. Adobe Scan and Cam Scanner is okay, but yeah, Adobe Scan is very safe, easy to use. And along with that, you have the option to resize. With resize, you can set it to an A4 page. And whenever you make PDF, make sure to cover the entire A4 page. Now, next thing I will answer is what pens to use. This is a very common doubt. Now, you see, for in UPSC exam, the paper is about 75 GSM. So about 70, no, 75 is not, it depends actually. Suppose, for example, in some papers I saw 65 GSM, in others it was 75, mostly it is around 70. The paper is such that if you use a gel pen, it will not come on the other side. So you can be comfortable in using a gel or a ball. But whatever you use a blue pen. That you have to make sure. Do not write. I know you are asked for a black ballpoint pen in paper 1, but this is paper 2. Use a blue pen. Why I'm saying? Because your questions are written in black, you write in blue, your copy will be construed to be original. Like in banks, when you go to a bank and you sign a document, it has to be in blue. Why do they say? So that it's not a photocopy. Similarly, you use the same concept here, you use a blue pen. And if suggested, if you're buying your own A4 rim size, buy a 70 GSM paper, not an 80 or 85 paper, which is very thick and bold. So you can take care of that. So any other matter before I jump into the reports as such? Let me think. Okay, I have told you the lecture, I've told you, and the copies which are to be made. the sizing, the formatting, the importance of the formatting, the importance of naming correctly, how to correct if you're writing in an inclined manner, and how to correct if how to make a proper PDF, what pens to use. So now you have all the tools ready on how to write, on how to start off with your writing. With this is very important for you to understand. Now, once you have mastered the basics, that what do I have to do, how do I have to do it, now let us go into the report. So, I've taken examples from students who have written this. Now, I'm going to explain what not to do. That is my first priority in this session. What not to do. Why? Because what to do is very simple. What to do can be explained within a minute or so. That you have an intro, you have a body, you have a conclusion. It is very similar to an essay. But what is the difference here? Report is focused on recently past events of national of national or local importance. What does it mean? Recently past. You have to understand the term recently past. Recently past means it is neither too old that it is history, it is neither very old, neither it is happening in the present, nor it is in the future. So you have to write in a past tense because it happened previously. That you have to take care. Second is of national or local importance, like your Delhi oxygen crisis question came. So that is of local importance. Your election issue or a democracy issue came, or a sports issue came. That is a national importance question. You have to speak, you have to emulate the reports which you read in the newspapers. It has to be similar, but it does not have to be exact. That means the newspapers can be biased, you cannot be biased. The newspapers will try to portray one angle very heavily. They will try to say only one side of the argument, that is basically biased, or they will try to use images or graphics to show their point in a news report. But no, you cannot do that. You cannot draw graphs, you cannot draw diagrams in a report. Please avoid those things. That is one thing. Then another thing you have to take in a report is you always start with something current relevance, something of current importance starting. That means suppose the topic is on Delhi oxygen crisis or something, then you have to start that so and so thing is happening. This is the issue, and you can introduce your own imaginary characters that so and so person is facing this issue, or he's in a debilitated state and he's deteriorating, or an institution is deteriorating, anything. You can start with something personalized. That means you can touch a body or a person, something like that. You don't have to necessarily start with a definition. That is not something suitable in a report. So that is how to start a report. The middle of the report will be your causes of the issue, that why this issue is happening. Yes, it will be the causes of the issue, and the ending can be the solutions to the issue. That whatever is happening in the present, that can be solved by so and so steps, government steps or local steps, and that's it. You finish it right there. You can write sources on that, sources at the end of it, but I would suggest you can avoid it if you are crossing a word limit or time limit. Okay, so let me just take an example from here. Yeah, so let me just take an example of this candidate. He starts with a format. I'll explain this right now. He writes an intro. You have to write an intro which is very happening recently, very present, and or of recent past. Then you issue what is the biggest root cause of the problem, what is the issue, what are the consequences, what are the solutions, and there's the second page, what are the solutions, and then you can write your sources at the end. Now, what is the format you follow? This heading of the report will be given in the QCAB. I explained abhi that you have a QCAB in front of you. The question will be written here, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. Your question will be written here, and you will start writing from here. So the first 3-4 lines you will leave for the starting format, and then you can start your essay, start your report. So now, first things, XYZ, the special correspondent, ABC News, XYZ City, your date. Now, please understand this very carefully, mug it up. If you want to write special correspondent, it is okay. If you don't want, it is completely fine by me. No one cares if you're writing special correspondent. So, okay. XYZ is your name. ABC News is the report you write for. And XYZ city is the city where you're writing. You do not write New Delhi. You do not write your exam center. You do not mention anything. You can attract negative marks for that. Okay. If you mention anything personal or your roll number, you attract penalty marks. Now, I am not scaring you, but penalty marks is something which happens which is of minus 5 marks. So if you say anything personal, if you reveal your roll number, uh, if you write in the report or essay that I am from so and so college and I did this or that thing, now that is a violation of UPC rules. You will be awarded with -5. Please do not commit such errors. That is why this session is focused on what not to do. You do not write your city, your date. For now, your exam is scheduled on 8th of August 2024, if I'm not wrong. So you start practicing by writing 8th of August 2024. Now, how do you write it? You write it 8th August, comma 2024. Like I have written over here, 13th November 2023. This is the correct format. This is the correct format. Your 8/08/24, your August 8, 24, any other iteration you think, please avoid it. This is the standard. This is as per Oxford guidelines on writing. So you write this way. So that is one thing. So you have your name, you have your ABC News, you have your PQRS city. You can change the alphabets, I don't care. But you do not write your city. New Delhi, Bikaner, whatever. You do not write your city. You write your date, and from now itself start practicing the date of the exam, so that in exam you don't commit any mistake, you don't waste 10 to 15 seconds thinking what date is it. No, you practice from now itself. We prepare ourselves in such a manner, 16 by 23 size, proper formatting, that when you go into the exam, you do not feel that you are writing a new topic. You are writing a new exam. You are writing the same exam as what you are writing in your tests here. So that is the thing. And naming format, yeah, I have to mention it every time. I don't know why, but it is something which should be followed. Now let me start with the mistakes. So I have explained you how to start, how to write the body, how to write the solutions, and finish it off with the sources. Now, sources is not something I am very much a fan of. You see, this candidate is already on the end of the second page. You see, the line is finishing here. Line is finishing here. He's on the end of second page. He's writing up to the last, and then he's writing two more sources. Now you already have no space. You have crossed your word limit surely. That is why you are so much in the end. And on top of that, you're writing two sources. I mean, the maximum you will jump is from a 5 to 5.5, and you are wasting so much of your time on this. Why? No need. If you are already above word limit, if you are above time limit, forget about sources. No one needs to know about sources. Okay, but if you write sources, let me tell you, PIB, perfect source. Niti Aayog report, perfect source. Indian Express, The Hindu, good. Niti Ayog. Your PIB is your first choice. Okay, go to PIB, Niti Ayog, SDG report. Okay, any ministry annual report, or any ministry annual report. Then you can write. If you are writing on an international matters, then you can write Reuters, the Guardian. You can write the Guardian. If you are writing something relevant to the US, then the New York Times. So that can be done. So you can change as per the situation of what you have. But PIB and Niti Ayog are your go-to things, because Niti Ayog SDG data is something which you will more or less end up writing. And Ministry Annual Report, yeah. If you're writing any government scheme or anything, then you can say that Agriculture Ministry Annual Report 2023-24. So that is something. Now let me focus on the mistakes. Okay, so now before I proceed ahead, I have explained you firstly the QCAB and everything surrounding that. Secondly, I have explained what to do in a report, basics. It is not to be worried too much about. You will get it when we start evaluating your copies. And in the classes, when they teach content, you will be learning on that. Your third point is what not to do. So, first thing is that this candidate, woman in science, this candidate started with a quote. Nothing is more fierce than a woman with determination, Hillary Clinton. Now, okay, you have Hillary Clinton, you have learnt a quotation. Good. But the very next line she starts is, in July 2023, India has successfully launched Chandrayaan 3. Now, the examiner is reading from your quote to the intro. The examiner is not thinking, okay, the quote is different, the report is different. No. Or the essay is different. No. You have to write it relevant. That is the first thing. Second, obviously, you have to write in a straight line. You see, this candidate is going like that, so you use a scale and you move the scale down and you get it correctly. Now, this naming format I have explained to you, the starting format, you have to be anonymous. Next is English. English has to be improved heavily. You have to improve your English, not to a level of Shashi Tharoor, I would say, but yes, you have to improve your English up to a very good level where you are able to express what you think. मैं अगर हिंदी में कहूँ, जो आपके विचार हैं, आप उनको पूरी तरीके से एग्जाम पेपर पर लिख सकें, इतनी काबिलियत होनी चाहिए आपकी अंग्रेजी भाषा में. For this, you have to improve yourself. You have to read more content. You have to read more newspapers. And if you get bored, you might start watching English shows, start reading English novels and English essay books for you to improve your language. The key is language in the exam, because everyone has the same content, everyone prepares this from the same books, most of them come from the same coaching, a bunch of five, six of them, maybe or more. But yes, everyone comes from a similar teaching background, similar like studies. So what differentiates between you and a person who is scoring 100 plus? It is the English language. And English language is important. That is why you don't have Hindi in the paper too. So you have to be careful of your English. You have to write clearly, you have to write cleanly, you have to write briefly. Now, briefly, I have said in the last. Why? Because that is something you will learn over time. That is not something you will learn on the very first day. What you take 15 words to describe, it may be described within 7 words more effectively. Why? Because of vocabulary. So you have to improve your vocabulary significantly. Every day when you read the newspaper, you note down what are you missing out, what you are not able to understand, and you see their proper meanings. And then you think that in internal security, I can use this word here. In so and so subject, I can use the sentence there. So you make your own sentences with those words and you keep it there, so that you know this word can be used at this particular place. That is one thing to improve your vocabulary. Now, a few things to avoid is avoid quoting people who might be controversial. I'm not saying they are controversial. Please don't take me the other way. They might be controversial, or they might be showing a bias on your side or maybe anything, but it is not preferred. Like this candidate wrote, launched in 1973, he's talking about Project Tiger, launched in 1973 by the government of India under the power of Indira Gandhi from Jim Corbett National Park. Now, okay, you're writing about Project Tiger, you're writing a thing on environment. The topic is Project Tiger, but you're writing under the power of Indira Gandhi. Now, he did not have to say it. He could have strictly avoided it. Or if he wanted to write Indira Gandhi, he could have told by the then Prime Minister. Avoid quoting, and the power word is absolutely wrong. Please do not write in such language. Then, here again, this is a slightly nuanced point that the candidate has written. The Project Tiger was launched to maintain for their economic, ecological, and cultural aesthetic significance. Now he's writing economic before ecological. This shows that you are more focused on the economic perspective than the ecological. As a CAPF or a bureaucrat, you have to be more focused on a ecological perspective than the economic. As per paper, what you have to write in the exam. I'm not talking what is in real life. Real life varies significantly from what you write in the exam. So then another thing here, you see, Project Tiger started also to identify and to restore condition natural to time. This entire paragraph of about 70 words is within one sentence. He has not changed the sentence. He has used and for. He has used connecting verbs to add the to make he could have easily written 3 to 4 sentences in this of this, but no, he's writing too long. Now no one is going to read 70 words and then going to construe what is being written here. Construe means understand. No one is going to sit and understand that he's written this point and connected this. No one spends that much time reading a paper. You have to write short and simple sentences. That is why I say you read the topper PYQ solved copy, you will understand how they are written. Now he has also written in present tense. You should write always in past tense. This I have told you previously. Because what you are writing, Delhi oxygen crisis happened before. It is happening right now. It is ongoing or it is before. That is why it is recently in past. So you prefer writing in past tense. If it is something of present, you write in present, but prefer not to write in present because you are writing a newspaper report one day after the event. Whatever news happened yesterday, it comes in today's newspaper. So it is always in the past. I've already explained that you no need to write the ending source if you don't have the time or word limit for it. Now, what has this candidate done? This candidate, okay, he has taken space on both sides. Very good. What he has done is he has crammed up. Do not cram. He has crammed this very badly. He has underlined only two things. That to Supreme Court he has underlined. I don't know why. Okay, and he has gone so long into a paragraph and then again another paragraph, and he is ending here. But no, you see this line spacing has reduced significantly from what it started here. You do not do this. You do not do this in an exam. Like I explained in the starting itself, leaving a half page blank is going to do you no good. You prefer writing in more than one and a half, cover up to 2 pages, so that the examiner knows that you have written within word limit, you have answered the question fully. If you write within one and a half page, the examiner will know that you are missing some or the other point. So you don't want the examiner to feel that. He has not underlined anything in the report. Now, underlining in the report is not something of very importance because report is of only 200 words. It is not of 300 like your essay and argument, where underlining is very, very important. Not It is important in report also, but not so important. But it is always good to understand. Like he has underlined the Supreme Court. Now, I don't know why he has underlined the Supreme Court, what it is showing to me. What I mean to say is the principle behind underlining is that whatever, if I read from underline to underline, underline to underline, if I go straight jump like a ladder, then I should be able to make a proper flow of thought that okay, this three things he has written and they are connected. Because whatever topic you are writing, suppose you are writing on Project Tiger and the examiner is checking, he has checked hundreds of copies on Project Tiger within that day or a few days before you, before checking your copy. So he knows what is to be written in Project Tiger. He knows everything that can be written on Project Tiger because he has checked hundreds of copies. In hundreds of copies, he knows what sort of data can come. And if 50 people write 40% of tigers are safe, and you go and write 10% of tigers are safe with the same report, he will know you are bluffing and he will cut your marks. So do not bluff if it is a very common data report like Niti Aayog or something. So do not bluff with the data. And whatever you're writing, he is not interested because he catches one word, he knows what you are going to write. So because he knows the content which is to be there, and everyone almost has the same content like I have been saying for the past 40 minutes. Next, this candidate has used I and we in the report. In the report, he is coming in response, he's giving a solution in a conclusion. Okay, he's giving a solution that we should do campaign to awareness and they don't think before sharing. Now this, he's saying we, he's first of all he's advocating that use we, he's suggesting a solution like he's recommending like a government body. No, you're writing a news report, you shouldn't be doing such things. And you can't write IV, you can't write personal nouns, and they don't think before sharing any information and how will affect this sentencing of the sentence structure itself is not good. And on top of that, the suggestion which is giving is sounding immature, although it is not immature. The suggestion whichever this candidate is giving to counter fake news is good. Okay, people should think before they forward, they should do campaign awareness, but the way you express your opinion is of great relevance over here. You have to express in a mature way, in an officer like manner, because at the end of the day, you are writing to become an officer. You should be able to report incidents which happened on field within 200 words in very brief, precise manner that your commanding officer understands what you have written, why you have written, why it happened, what happened to it, what is the solution on it. That is very clear, you have to understand. Lastly, he is writing something which I don't understand, so I'm not going to delve into that. And he has also missed content, he has missed way forward. Now you see, this is a fake news, like a report on fake news. So he can start with fake news origin, he can write the issues, accuracy, bias, coverage. These are three issues with fake news. Then there can be a solution, IT Act, Supreme Court judgment. You write a way forward that do campaign awareness and do fact check, like PIB fact check is there. Then some recent examples of impact, and then you can just finish it off. That's all. So you can write in a structured manner a report, and yeah, this is a thing. Please try to read on the topic and improve. I know my comments can be a bit harsh, but please don't take them personally. Use them to improve. You see, I know in this entire while I might have sounded a bit stern and strict, but please, it is all for your best, for your improvement, for you to do much better. So it is our responsibility to give you the best feedback so that you improve in exam. As it is said, it is better to sweat in practice than to bleed in war. Now, again, now I want you to pause the video and I want you to think just a second. What is wrong over here? He has written his city, his formatting. Now you as a candidate can improve on this. You know what is the correct thing now. Then, what this candidate has done. You see, he has done this, 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 he has done this. You see, he has cut so many times within one paragraph. I mean, it's like playing Finding Waldo or something. Like, see, lot of mistake, lot of mistake. Why is he committing? The reason behind this is that he is not thinking before he is writing. He is thinking as long as he is writing. यानी यह व्यक्ति लिखते वक्त ही सोच रहा है कि आगे क्या लिखना है. This is not something you will do. Like I said in my first, how to think before writing an essay. Within your 8 to 9 minutes of time, you take 1 minute to structure your essay mentally. You don't need to write, this is not an essay. You don't need to write, you take your 1 minute and you think, I will start with this, I will give these 2 points, I will finish with this, and that's it. That is how you approach it. Then you won't commit such errors. You see, he's committing so many, it is not going to look good on his part. That see, the candidate is not thinking properly before writing. Then his English also is not very good. Malnutrition has always remained one of the serious issue for India, where everywhere thousands of children under fire. I mean, pregnant women and poor died. I mean, some intellectuals, please don't write intellectuals. Intellectuals is more for philosophical people. You write experts have even told to declare malnutrition as a serious cross out cross out world issue. I mean, some experts have even suggested this type of language, right? Suggested instead of told. This you get when you read the newspaper. You need to know what is to be written. Please use formal English with well-structured sentence and add vocabulary. I'm sorry, there is a C. It's hard to check on a computer. Vocabulary. So he has to improve his vocabulary significantly over here because he is not able to express what he is thinking. Too much cutting of words. Mm, he is not writing properly. You see, it has a devastating effect on teens in their formative years. Adolescent girls, malnutrition becomes stumbling block for them. No, for malnourished malnourished adolescent girls. That is the correct way to write. You see, he is not thinking. He striked it out. Then he wrote malnutrition, which is not even correct. He should have placed it properly. So that is the thing. And sometimes they die because their bodies don't remain in a position to endure pain. I mean, this is not how an officer would express himself. You need to be more mature in way you write. And this maturity is called the power of expression. This is something which I emphasize heavily on all my checkings, that you need to know how to express yourself. Your power of expression has to be phenomenal. You need to be able to express your viewpoint in brief, precise manner, such that what you think is what you write, is what the other person reads, and what the other person understands. This entire loop is called communication, and you have to achieve that with great expression. Lastly, as a concluding note, I will leave you with parting words, that is, to read the PYQ copies solved by the CPF toppers and veterans, where especially I have seen the 2023, 2023, 2021, 2017. These copies are exceptionally good. I mean, they are 110 plus marks, 120 plus marks copies. These three, especially, all of them are good. All of them are 100 plus marks for sure. But when I went through the copies, I saw these three papers to be the best of the best, amongst the best. And 2021 and 2017, these two are phenomenal. I mean, I really like, even I learned a few new things from them. It is really good. It's really good. So, as promised, the expected duration less than 1 hour. I wrap you up in 15 minutes. I will see you next for this lecture number 2 on essay and 3 on argument, which will be coming out in another 2 3 weeks. So, we'll look on that. No need to worry. We are here with you to evaluate the paper. As you can see, the evaluation is always proper in prim format for you to improve yourself. So please take care. Please keep practicing. Please make sure to revise this video after about 4 to 5 months. When you have prepared, you have improved, you come again, you see this video in a more faster way, and you realize what you're doing wrong. Have you deviated anything from this? Have you changed yourself from the structure which I've explained here? Please do this. If any further doubts or anything you want me to address, please let me know back. Please let know the institution back, and I will be covering that up in my within this series itself. So thank you very much. Best wishes. Hope to see you soon. Jai Hind.
Greetings of the day, everyone. This is CAPF 2024 Paper 2 Argument Writing Session. This is lecture number 2 out of 3 sessions which is being taken. Although this being a second session, the sessions are not related to each other. They are on report, argument, and essay respectively. But I will be taking this argument session as a standalone lecture, so some of the things may be repeated, but it is very important, that is why they are being repeated. So we have that clear in our minds, and I have also taken some feedback from the previous lecture where font color has been changed, as you can notice, and Hindi language also will be considered at appropriate times. Now let us jump right into the argument. What is it? What is happening in the exam? So there are two questions, 40 marks each. This is the 2023 paper. This is the 2022 paper. I have taken screenshots from the UPSC website. So write arguments for and against each of the following statements. 20 marks, two questions. So the total is 40 marks. So you have 2A, 2B. You do not have any choice like you have in an essay. You have to compulsorily write both of them, and they are of 20 marks each. And in the official QCAB, which I will show a bit later, you get 3 pages to write each of them. So you have 6 pages to write. And your each argument should ideally be written in about 8 in about 10 to 13 minutes, where maybe 10 is a bit less. 11 to 13 minutes is a good range to fit yourself in. And so that is a good range for us to fit. Next is this is again for 2022. So this is the same pattern which is being followed. Always question 2 is going to come A and B parts. Now what is the aim of this lecture? Aim is to explain you the basic answer writing formats, how to write an argument, and what is the way it is to be written, how to think before writing an argument. In this 11 to 13 minutes, the initial 1.5 minute, or rather if it is a tough if it's a rather tougher topic, you may even take 2 minutes to think before writing an argument, like this topic on united UN organization. This has lots and lots of points. For a candidate who has studied well, you have too many points in this. So it takes about 2 minutes to write the entire thing, to frame yourself. Next is whereas similarly video games sharpen the mind. Now this is not a topic which everyone studies before the exam and they know what is going to come in the exam. So this is something where you may take 1.5 minute and you can just roll with the ball, because it's not a very hard topic. And if I recollect correctly, this 2022 topic is very similar to a 2017 question. So that is to be seen. Yeah, leaving that aside, I'll focus on this. Collecting resources in argument. Yeah. Avoiding basic errors. This is something which I focus, which my lecture series are kind of niche, that what is not to be done, that is being taught. And targeted students, beginners to the CAPF exam. If you're brand new, if you don't know anything, if you haven't prepared previously, this is the place to begin. New to conventional exam format, you have cleared some other exams, or you are already in service, you are an ex-serviceman candidate, then this is for you. If you have never had a proper guidance in P2, you prepared P1 but you could not find a good mentor for P2, you could not prepare. और आखिरी में हिंदी माध्यम के छात्रों के लिए जो हिंदी माध्यम से अपने स्कूल की कक्षाओं में पढ़े हैं लेकिन अब अंग्रेज़ी माध्यम से पेपर लिखते हैं क्योंकि CAPF के दूसरा पेपर इंग्लिश माध्यम से ही लिखा जा सकता है, तो ऐसे छात्रों को बहुत दिक्कत होती है और मैंने अक्सर पाया भी है कि उन्हें प्रॉपर गाइडेंस नहीं मिल पाता है, तो ये लेक्चर उन लोगों के लिए भी है. Expected duration of this lecture is about an hour. I'm not sure where it will fall, but yeah, plus minus 10 minutes. My time is equally important as your time, so that is why I always inform the expected duration so that you know what is the aim we are going with. This is not an open session where we discuss for hours and hours. I take only that much time which is needed. That's why I am always brief, and I always ask the candidates to view this lecture again and again every 3 months so that you know you are on track. What I will be explaining, basic format of QCAB. This might be a slight repeat for those who have seen other lectures. Basic format to follow in an answer. Yes, this is new. What to do and what not to do. Now, this is very important. This time I have also given due focus on what to do along with what not to do. I will be showing evaluated answer copies and also PYQ solved copies written by CAPF toppers and veterans. This PDF of past 10 year PYQs of past 10 years is already available from 2013 to 2023. Everything is available on the Telegram channel, free PDF. You can download it. It's around 250 pages, but yeah, it is the good one. Now, QCAB. This is question cum answer booklet. Question cum answer booklet. आपको एग्ज़ाम में जब QCAB बुकलेट दी जाती है तो उसके एंड में एक क्वेश्चन पेपर अलग से ग्लू से चिपकाया जाता है. उससे आप क्वेश्चन पेपर को फाड़ के अलग कर सकते हैं. QCAB अलग होता है, क्वेश्चन पेपर अलग हो जाता है. QCAB आप लिख के जमा करते हैं, क्वेश्चन पेपर आप घर ले जा सकते हैं. So the question paper which is attachable at the end, you can pluck it out and you can take it home with you. Whereas for the QCAB you have to submit in the exam, obviously. And 16 by 23 is the size of the writing area. Writing area is of 16 by 23. Although the paper is of A4 size, it is slightly shorter than an A4 size, what I have seen. On the top edges it is slightly smaller than A4, but the sizes is of 16 by 23 where you write. I will show the sample of the QCAB. A4 page with 1 inch reduction on all 4 sides. So candidates who are writing the test series for evaluation or anything, you leave 1 inch on all 4 edges so that the writing space itself falls into 16 by 23. And please write in unruled pages. You will see in the next page when I'll show. And while submitting for evaluation, please follow a format: essay underscore name underscore topic. Like if you're writing an argument, then argument underscore Rahul. If your name is Rahul, just taking an example, underscore UN redundant. So redundant. So you dot PDF. So this will be the name of your PDF which you submit for evaluation. This is for candidates who are in the evaluation program. And PDFs are to be made of A4 sized. Settings can be done in the app. Adobe Scan app is actually very helpful in this, and leaves space on all 4 edges for examiner to evaluate and feedback. Because if you give a PDF where end to end edges you have written entirely, then as an evaluator there is no space for me to write. And if I write in a separate blank page for you, then it will be very hard for you to correlate that I am referring to this particular sentence. Okay, so now let us come to the QCAB. Now this is an official specimen photo from your QCAB. I have downloaded this from the UPSC website. Now this you have to read the very carefully. Candidates must not write on this margin. उम्मीदवारों को इस हाशिए में नहीं लिखना चाहिए, यानी दिस लाइन एंड दिस लाइन यू आर नॉट अलाउड टू राइट इन दिस. आप इस तरफ नहीं आ सकते. इफ़ यू आप एक शब्द लिखते लिखते इसको यहाँ क्रॉस कर रहे हैं, ये भी अलाउड नहीं है. So you cannot write here कि आप you are completing a letter here. ना, that is not allowed. Now आप ये जो आपका साइज़ है, ये एरिया आपका 16/23 बैठता है. एंड इन दिस आपका जहाँ क्वेश्चन लिखा है इट विल बी ऑब्वियसली लेस देन 23. तो आपको यहाँ से स्टार्ट करना है. यहाँ से आप स्टार्ट करोगे पहला सेंटेंस. फ्रॉम हियर यू विल बिगिन योर फर्स्ट सेंटेंस एंड यू विल कीप गोइंग. विद इन 2 lines you will introduce what is the issue and what is happening in the issue up till here. Now here you will write for, and after that you will be writing against. You will be writing for here, and then you will start writing your 1 2 3. Preferably write 2 points within the first page, leave a bit of space at the end, so that later if you want to add any example or anything you have some space with you. Then the second page you can write your point number 3 4 and 5. And you can start with your argument number against number 1. You can start with against number 1. So, and then in the third page you can write against 2 3 4 5 whatever you have, and you can maybe end with a conclusion, maybe not, depending as per the time you have and as per the space you have filled up. I will discuss this in depth. So I will show you with proper examples of the toppers PYQ. So you will start with 2 sentences at most, that what is the issue. You will not give a static definition, you will not give an anecdote or give a data fact. No. Argument means there is a conflict, there are 2 sides to be discussed. Within the first 2 sentences you will bring out the dichotomy. This is your main purpose within this page, within this side of the page. आपको जो QCAB मिलेगा ये ऑफिशियल यूपीएससी वेबसाइट से लिया है मैंने. आपको इतनी सी जगह में 2 सेंटेंसेस में आपको विभाग पे दर्शाना है. यू हैव टू ब्रिंग आउट द डाइकोटमी, क्योंकि देर आर 2 साइड्स, फॉर एंड अगेंस्ट. तो आपको ये दर्शाना है कि किस बात को लेकर झगड़ा है, किस मुद्दे पे झगड़ा है. लाइक इफ देयर इज एन इशू ऑफ अबॉर्शन एंड यू आर आस्क्ड टू राइट फॉर और अगेंस्ट, then you will be discussing out the propriety of a woman's body and the question of life. Where does life begin? This kind of words you will say which can help the examiner understand that you know what is the main underlying problem here. आप for या against तभी लिखोगे जब आपको पता है कि issue क्या है, झगड़ा किस बात पे है. So that is why you need to understand, and if you can bring out the dichotomy very clearly within this one paragraph, 2 to 3 sentences, not more than that. You don't need an introduction, just straight away tell what it is. If you can explain in very brief words what is the issue, then the examiner will have clarity that you understand what the topic is. Examiner को समझ आ जाएगा कि आपको पता है कि आप क्या लिख रहे हो, आपको मुद्दा पता है क्या है. देन यू स्टार्ट विथ योर 4 1 2. दूसरे पेज पे जब आप आएंगे तो आप 3 4 5 और अगेंस्ट का पहला पॉइंट लिख सकते हैं. तीसरे पेज पे जाके आप 2 3 4 5 अगेंस्ट का लिखिए. कंक्लूजन, इफ़ यू हैव द टाइम, इफ़ यू हैव द वर्ड लिमिट, यू कैन राइट. इफ़ नॉट देन नो नीड. आपको कंक्लूजन लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है अगर आपके पास वक्त नहीं बचता है. लेकिन अगर आपके पास वक्त बचता है, यू कैन राइट 1 सेंटेंस कंक्लूजन, सो एंड सो सोल्यूशन कैन बी मेड. आप एक सोल्यूशन या एक ब्राइट फ्यूचर का एक कंक्लूजन लिख सकते हैं. कंक्लूजन ऑफ ब्राइट फ्यूचर, ऑप्टिमिस्टिक और सोल्यूशन. इन्हीं 3 चीज़ों पर आप लिखेंगे. कंक्लूजन ऑफ ब्राइट फ्यूचर, ऑप्टिमिस्टिक या सोल्यूशन. सिर्फ एक सेंटेंस, नॉट मोर देन दैट. एक सेंटेंस. मैं जानता हूँ ये सेंटेंस लंबा होगा, दिस सेंटेंस विल बी लॉन्ग. इट माइट बी अबाउट 30 to 35 words because you are going to cover a lot of things. that is okay, but you do not write more than 1 to 2 sentences. Why? मैं क्यों इतना emphasis दे रहा हूँ? No introduction, no conclusion, because the marks are for and against. आपको मार्क्स आपके पॉइंट्स के लिए दिए जा रहे हैं जो आप 10 पॉइंट दे रहे हो. फॉर के 5 पॉइंट, अगेंस्ट के 5 पॉइंट, 5 पॉइंट्स, एंड यू गेट 20 मार्क्स. So you have 10 marks for and 10 marks for against. For every 10 marks you write 5 points. So you get 2 marks for 1 point. एक पॉइंट लिखने के आपको 2 नंबर मिलते हैं, and those 2 marks will not be fully available. You might get only 1 mark or a 0.75 mark for that particular point. Although the examiner does not go so deep in awarding the marks, he will take all the 4 points at once, and he will award some marks out of 10, all the against points together, marks out of 10, or he may just take out of 20 and straight away. It depends on the examiner. We don't know what is going inside the examiner's mind in UPSC. Nobody knows, but these are my estimates and logic reasoning, that you have 10 marks for 10 marks for against, you write 5 points in each of them, so you have 10 points to write. Now अब आते हैं, election should be held simultaneously. This is a 2022 question, 2021 question. Okay, whatever it is a PYQ. So let us start. So this is the question. This much space has been taken by the question writing, जो कि यहाँ दिख रहा है. This much space has already been taken. Now this is not a candidate, this is a veteran aspirant who has written this. So he knows he has to write in 16 by 23. He has left some space. I have cropped out, but yeah, he has left some space. This was longer. He has left some space here, and he has written within one sentence, idea of simultaneous parliament and state assembly elections was considered in an all party meet recently. One nation, one election is the motto here. 2 sentences, 1 and 2. He has told parliament, state assembly, recently. So he has related current affairs with the topic. He has told why the topic has come in the exam. यहाँ पर इस एस्पिरेंट, ये जो वेटरन कैंडिडेट है, इसने बताया है कि एग्जामिनर को कि देखो मुझे पता है कि तुमने ये क्वेश्चन क्यों पूछा है. आई नो वाई इट इज़ बीइंग आस्क्ड. देन वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन इज़ द मोटो हियर. तो उसने पूरा एक सेंटेंस में, विद इन वन मोटो, द कैंडिडेट हैज़ एक्सप्लेन टू द एग्जामिनर दैट आई नो वॉट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट हियर. So within this paragraph, he knows, okay, the candidate knows what he's discussing, why he's discussing. Now arguments for simultaneous election. Please write for in capital, or you can box it up. Arguments for simultaneous elections. अब यहाँ पर reduction in expenditure, lower burden, fewer passes, 5 point हैं. Subheading is given, and he has written one sentence in each of them. Similarly, arguments against, he can either box it up or write, underline. It is very clear. Whenever you see this page entirely, you know he's writing against. It is very clear. You see this, you know he's writing for. So in the actual exam, it will look like this because the page opens up like this. So the examiner will see something like this in the exam. जब वो आपकी कॉपी, हार्ड कॉपी खोलेगा, वो PDF में नहीं चेक कर रहा है, तो ही विल सी बोथ ऑफ दीज टुगेदर. वो इन दोनों पेजेस को साथ साथ देखेगा, तो उसे देखते ही समझ आ जाएगा कि कैंडिडेट ने कहाँ फॉर लिखा है, कहाँ अगेंस्ट लिखा है, और कहाँ जाके ख़त्म किया है. अब आप यहाँ पर देखेंगे आर्ग्यूमेंट्स फॉर में सबहेडिंग इज गिवन, दैट इज रिडक्शन इन एक्सपेंडिचर. Redundant or repetitive expenditures can be reduced, for example hiring of extra security forces. Now idhar he has explained what is the point, he has given an example to justify it. Lower burden, multiple actions, divert attention. Now the candidate has underlined the subheadings and he has given space. So even if the examiner does not have time to read your entire thing, because he has checked hundreds of copies before you, okay, on the same topic, that election should be held simultaneously, he knows what the 4 points are, he knows what the against points are, he knows what the data will be, he knows everything, okay, because after checking, even after checking 10 copies, he will know all the possible content there is on that topic. So even if he reads this underlined, reduction in expenditure, lower burden, fewer pauses, he knows that you have written the correct topic. You know the point and you must have just elaborated it. So even if he sees just the subheadings, he should be able to award you full marks with that. Full marks, I mean, out of 20 he will give 10, or not 10, he will give 8 or 7, but yeah, he will try to go close to 10. 10 se zyada it won't come ever. That is UPSC rule. So yeah, so he has written with spacing, with points. You see 1, 2, 3. He has not gone for Roman numerals like 1, or he has not gone for capital I. I have seen many people write Roman numeral, capital I, or just something, some bullet points, or writing with dashed or bullet points, something like that. All this has to be avoided, okay? You can't write in this. You have to write 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can't write the fifth point, it's okay, but you have to write in numerical points. This is given in UPSC notification that Roman numerals are always preferred. You can read the notification. Okay. So the candidate here has given a bit of space. It is very neat and properly written within the time limit. Then expected higher voter turnout once in 5 years against. Now you see he has also underlined that arguments against additional expenditure offset the saving. So this is to show the examiner that, see, I want you to read this. That is why the candidate has done this. And as per analysts, impact of governance is minimal, thus not a hindrance. Legal hurdles. Now, since the candidate has specifically quoted constitution articles, this you have to underline. Why? So that the examiner does not miss this. This is a value addition point. This is something which toppers and veterans do and know. So since you are at a higher level, you need to play to your strengths. You need to tell the examiner that देखो मैंने ये लिखा है, I know this. The moment the examiner sees 84 and 174, he is not going to spend his time reading the entire paragraph. He knows that you have written it correctly. Although he might just scroll through with his pen, that is all right. But yeah, he knows what is being talked about. Asynchronous terms of current houses. This itself is enough to explain the entire passage over here. That current party in power across various states in different stages from 0 to 5 years, whose period will be cut short, is a question unanswered. Now you see conclusion. He has written one sentence. In conclusion, one nation, one election idea needs more thought and study on its implementation and ramifications. It is 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It is merely 14, 15 words. It is a 15-word sentence. That's all. That is all you need to do. Why? Because you get marks for your points. He has written 10 points. He has explained the idea. So he will get almost 9.5 or 10 out of 20 in this. And the conclusion is brief. So he is not wasting too much of time here. You get marks for writing the points. You get the marks for writing arguments for and against. You don't get marks for writing introduction or conclusion. Please keep this in mind. This is a part of what to do. If this what to do gets long, I might break this session into 2 parts and do with what not to do. Yeah. So this is the first thing you have to understand, that it is coming in 2 pages. You have to think in physical sense that the examiner will see these both pages together. So when he opens the next page of this question number 2A, he should be able to see something very neat, something very clearly written and evenly spaced. Now, just because I explained that you write point number 1 and 2 in this page and 3, 4, 5 in the next page, that does not mean you follow it exactly. अगर मैंने कह दिया है पिछले पेज में कि आप 2 यहाँ पर लिखें और बाकी 3 अगले पेज में, ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है. अगर आपके पास जगह बच रही है तो आप यहाँ पर लिख सकते हैं तीसरा पॉइंट. लेकिन हाँ, आप लास्ट का 1 इंच जगह यूपीएससी एग्ज़ाम में भी छोड़ सकते हो अगले पेज जाने से पहले. उसकी वजह ये है, ये एंड का जगह भी, ये जगह इसलिए छोड़ी गई है ताकि एग्ज़ाम के ख़त्म होने पर अगर आपको कभी याद आए कि ये पॉइंट मिस हो गया, ये यहाँ पर मैं एक डेटा पॉइंट ऐड कर सकता हूँ, तो आप उसे बाद में कर पाओगे. इफ़ यू फॉरगेट एनी पॉइंट और इफ़ यू रिकॉल सम वेरी न्यू पॉइंट, a bit later, then you have some space to write a sentence in between. That is why I suggest leaving a little bit of space. And even if you write up until the next, अगर आप क्रैम करके चौथा पॉइंट यहाँ फिट भी कर देते हो, देन नेक्स्ट पेज में आपको जगह दिक्कत हो जाएगी, क्योंकि आपका आधा पेज खाली हो जाएगा. And if half of your page is empty and you have not written a very strong argument, then maybe the examiner will understand that you have not written in word limit. Okay, the word limit is usually 300 words. 300 words word limit है 3 पेज के हिसाब से. But you should prefer not to cross 275 in exam, क्योंकि आपकी राइटिंग स्पीड उतनी फास्ट नहीं है जो सिविल सर्विस के एस्पिरेंट्स आते हैं, जो क्योंकि आप बिगिनर हो अभी. दैट इज़ वाई आप स्पीड गेन कर लोगे, नो डाउट इन दैट, विद एफर्ट एंड प्रैक्टिस एंड हार्ड वर्क. लेकिन आज की डेट पे अगर आप अभी 24 का एग्ज़ाम दे रहे हो, जो लोग सिविल सर्विस मीन्स लिख के आते हैं, दे हैव अ वेरी फास्टर स्पीड इन थिंकिंग एंड राइटिंग, तो दे मे बी एबल टू स्ट्रेच अप टू 300 वर्ड्स. But as you are a beginner, this session is only for beginners. You prefer writing 275 words. You write more effectively so that you get more marks of what you write. अगर आप टॉपिक के बाहर लिखते हो, यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट एनी मार्क्स. आप 300 वर्ड पूरा तीसरे पेज के एंड तक आप भर के आ जाओ, और वही ये कैंडिडेट 2.5 पेज में, 2.5 पेजेस में लिख के आएगा, ही विल स्कोर मोर मार्क्स देन यू. तो मोर वर्ड्स इज़ नॉट इक्वल टू मोर मार्क्स. दिस इज़ अ डिफरेंट फील्ड. यूपीएससी की दुनिया थोड़ी अलग है. तो आप क्वालिटी कंटेंट और एग्जैक्ट क्वेश्चन को आंसर करने वाला कंटेंट लिखें. नाउ अगर election in state should be held simultaneously. If someone writes here about electoral malpractices, or someone writes here about some unknown fact of representation of people act, or something about Arvind Kejriwal saying something or like that, then that is not directly relevant to this. You will be wasting your space and your time and your word limit. Please avoid that. Secondly, if you have noticed, this is a question on elections. In the entire thing, this candidate has not named any politician even once. If you want to quote a politician, rather than writing Arvind Kejriwal, prefer writing Chief Minister of Delhi, prefer writing Prime Minister. You don't need to write of India because we are in India. Prime Minister itself is enough. You can't write PM Modi, you can't write Prime Minister Modi. No, you can't write Narendra Modi. No, please. You need to write the Prime Minister. That's it. No names are needed. No need to enter too political. There's a difference between polity and political, or politics. So please always stay on the side of polity and not on politics. So I have explained what is the basic thing you have to think before writing. मैंने क्या कहा था आपसे? टू एक्सप्लेन बेसिक आंसर राइटिंग फॉर्मेट, जो कि मैंने QCAB में आपको दिखाया कि कैसे स्पेसिंग होगा, क्या होगा. हाउ टू थिंक बिफोर राइटिंग एन आर्ग्यूमेंट मैंने आपको बताया है विद दिस, कि आप लिखने से पहले क्या सोचेंगे, वॉट यू विल बी थिंकिंग. दैट सी आई हैव टू ब्रिंग आउट द डाइकोटमी, आई हैव टू राइट फॉर, आई हैव टू राइट अगेंस्ट, आई हैव टू राइट अ कंक्लूजन. So this is what you think before writing. Once you have thought out the points, then you start writing. Collecting resources in argument. Okay, now where to collect resources? Now, as per my analysis, okay, this is entirely my opinion. Please don't come hounding on me if it does not matches with the 2024 pattern. Topics in this are very static in nature. UN organization is a age-old topic. Capital punishment is a age-old topic. GM crops is very old topic. Similarly, abortion, many ethical dilemmas are very old topics. I mean, they are very contemporary topics. They are not very much into current affairs. But yeah, if you go around searching, yeah, there are current affair relevance. Like genetically modified crops, there is some BT brinjal is being talked about right now. The Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee gave its approval. So by that way, yes, this is relevant, this is current affairs. But GM crop overall has been a very static topic since the green revolution has come. तभी से ये टॉपिक चल रहा है. कैपिटल पनिशमेंट बहुत ही पुराना टॉपिक है, और बहुत वक्त से लोग करते आ रहे हैं कैपिटल पनिशमेंट की पढ़ाई. यूएन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन 2022 क्वेश्चन, दिस इज 21 क्वेश्चन, दिस इज आई डोंट रिमेंबर विच ईयर, या बट This is 2022. Yes, this is 2022. I remember. Uh, this was, I think, raised during the G20 session and the coffee club and all those things. G4 group and coffee club. It was in the news. Lekin even if it is not in the news, there have been calls for UN organization and UNSC reforms since many years, over the past 10-15 years. हर साल ये मुद्दा उठता ही उठता है. Like this, many coachings, and if you search in the internet, there will be a list of ethical dilemmas and topics which are being asked. So my suggestion is, first you exhaust your 2013 to 2023 resources. पहले आप 2013 से लेके 2023 तक के सारे आर्ग्यूमेंट्स को सॉल्व करिए. लाइक दिस वीडियो गेम्स शार्पन द माइंड is a very similar topic to 2017 question on Android apps, if I'm not wrong. अगर मैं सही रिकॉल कर रहा हूँ, then this is a very similar question to that. तो first these are 20 arguments. आप इन 20 arguments को solve करिए पहले, एंड विद इन द इवेल्यूएशन स्कीम आपको और भी टॉपिक्स दिए जाएंगे फॉर आर्ग्यूमेंट. Avoiding basic errors is, for this I will be bringing a second part of the lecture. I see this is getting slightly long. The second part of this lecture will be focused on what not to do. That is basically what fetches you marks. I will be discussing this in short amount of time in a different video. But before finishing this, I will explain one more example with you. One more example I have from the toppers PYQ. Then we will go on to the mistakes. So, video games sharpen the mind. This is a 2022 PYQ question, as I have shown you recently above. The recent inclusion of esports in Asian Games rekindled the debate whether video games sharpen the mind or not. So again, you see, this is written by a different topper. He has told the examiner that, see, I know why you are asking this topic. So he has shown the examiner, देखो, I know why you are asking this topic. That means I am a well prepared candidate. That is enough. He has written one sentence. Why? Because he is saving his time for the points. आपको marks points लिखने से मिलते हैं, ना कि intro और conclusion से. For now, he could have written this in capital and underline, but yeah, it is very clearly visible. If you see the entire page, he has written for A, B, C, D. He has again underlined every subheading, and he subheading में आप ध्यान देखिए, it improves spatial visualization, it enhances concentration. Now, even if you don't read what is written down, even if you don't read this point itself is enough to understand the point you are conveying. Yani the subheading which you write, that should be actionable. Now let me note this down for you. Subheading should be actionable. ये एक कंसेप्ट मैं समझा रहा हूँ. दिस इज़ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट व्हाट टू डू. सबहेडिंग शुड बी एक्शनेबल. मतलब कि यहाँ जो क्रिया वर्ब आना चाहिए आपके सबहेडिंग में, यानी सबहेडिंग जब कोई आपका पढ़े तो उतने से ही उसको समझ आ जाना चाहिए कि पॉइंट क्या है. इट एनहांसेस कॉन्सेंट्रेशन. If it had been a new candidate, he would have just written concentration. Playing video games may enhance concentration to train the mind. But no, this candidate has written it enhances concentration. He has written an adjective or a verb to support his point. So I don't need to read that playing games for longer period of time with focus train the mind to concentrate. No, ये लिखा है, you need to write this, but by reading the subheading itself, I know what he is talking about. So that is why subheading should be actionable in nature. ऐसे ही additional expenditure. अगर एक नया कैंडिडेट होता, he would have written expenditure increase or expenditure underline and then he will write his point. No, additional expenditure incurred, expected higher water turnout. So you have to write which is actionable, यानी आपका पॉइंट अपने आप में दिखना चाहिए. इट इज़ काफ़ी. डेवलप प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स. देखिए, he could have written problem solving skills and he would have written the same point. No, develop problem solving skills. ये एक्शन डाल दिया उसने यहाँ पे. रिफाइंस लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज़. वो चाहता तो लीडरशिप क्वालिटी लिख के छोड़ देता ना. रिफाइंस लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज़ and he has boxed his examples so that examiner reads the subheading, he reads the box, and he moves ahead. Against, now here I suggest you can box it up. वीडियो गेम्स डोंट शार्पन द माइंड. अगर आपके पास टाइम कम है, इफ यू हैव लेस टाइम, यू डोंट नीड टू राइट दिस, यू कैन राइट स्ट्रेट अवे अगेंस्ट एंड गो फॉर इट. Like here, arguments against simultaneous selection. If you don't have time, you can avoid this, but yeah, it does not make much of a difference. Okay, against addiction, social exclusion, vulnerable to data theft. Now you see, I have not read his entire point. Vulnerable to data theft, he has written WHO and he has boxed it. Now it raises an interest in me as an examiner that I should read what the candidate has written. According to WHO, data breach may affect mental health, thus video games make children vulnerable. Now this is how the candidate has grabbed attention, that in my entire page I want you to read the subheading, I want you to read the box and read the next underline. Anxiety, age inappropriate content, and conclusion. Now conclusion, he has written conclusion. I don't suggest writing the word conclusion, but yeah, or yeah, it is fine. You can leave an indent, like he has leave an indent here, and then you can start. Playing video games is a double-edged sword. Now this word is enough to conclude. This is a very good point he has brought. So these should be played with constraints to reap the maximum benefits. देखिए, मैं यहाँ पर एक सजेशन दूंगा. विथ कंस्ट्रेंट मैक्सिमम बेनिफिट, यहाँ पर क्या लिखा है? वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, रैमिफिकेशन. आप पिछले 2013 से 2023 जब आप सॉल्व कर लोगे 20 आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, यू कैन जनरेट सच स्टेटमेंट्स. आप ऐसे कंक्लूजन्स पहले से याद करके जा सकते हो 8 से 10, एंड यू विल फाइंड दीज कंक्लूजन्स इन द टॉपर्स PYQ कॉपी सॉल्व्ड. So you compile them, you mug them up, so that in the exam you just copy paste. Okay, so this is, and even if you are finding it hard, you can go to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is wonderful with words. You can generate some samples and you can learn it up. Now this is one more copy by a topper. I found this to be very helpful. This is a 2017 question on the youth are addicted to Android mobiles. Yeah, this is the question I was talking about. Now I'm not going to go deep in this, but you see this is the page split. पेज यहाँ से मुड़ता है, and we are going to see two pages at once. क्यों? Because the examiner opens the page in such a manner. He has written an intro, he has written in favor, he has written his points in underlining. Now I don't suggest you cross this. This is, you write one within that, yeah. But this he has solved in a rough paper. He has written 5 points, he has gone against, and he has written 5 points again. So that is how you write. आप देख रहे हो कितनी neat copy है. By seeing itself you understand what he is writing. You know what he is talking about. So this is the kind of clarity you need to achieve in writing this. So with this I conclude the first part of the argument writing session. The second session will be very brief. I know this has taken 40 minutes. The second session will be very short. It will be around half an hour, and we will discuss on what not to do. Greetings of the day, everyone. This is lecture number 3 of argument writing session. This is the second part of argument writing. This will be very brief one. I did not want to take one long lecture of 1.5 hours or something of that order, that it becomes harder for you to come again and see the lecture again. That is why this lecture is in 2 parts. This is the second part of argument writing session which you are watching. So this will be focused, in the previous lecture we discussed the basic answer writing formats, how to think before writing an argument, collecting the resources, and avoiding the basic errors. Avoiding the basic errors is what we will be covering in this lecture, in this second part. Then targeted students, you already know. The expected duration of this will be very less. It will be very short, around 25 or 30 minutes maybe. And the basic format and QCAB, you know. What to do has been told to you. What not to do is what we will discuss right now. So that is the aim. You already know the QCAB, you know the spacing, you know the name format that is to be followed, you know how to make a PDF out of it. I'm just skimming through so that this I'll summarize this within 5 minutes. And arguments for and against is our question. We bring out the dichotomy within the first paragraph. We write our 4 points, against points in the second page, and the third page is of the against points and a single sentence conclusion if we have the time. No time, no conclusion. Then we saw some topper copies where they have written clearly, they have put this in a box, they have used Roman numerals, they have used underlining of their subheadings, and each point they have tried to put in data or something or a example. Against is also again boxed. You have your points, you have a single line conclusion which you can repeat and learn from the PYQs and from the topper copies. Again, in the starting line, you can either bring out the dichotomy or tell why the question was asked. Actionable subheading should be given. I have explained this in ample depth in the previous part. Then you can box important things, you can underline the things so that the examiner may straight away jump to what is required. A conclusion of around 15 to 20 words can be given. And lastly, you solve in a page which is right adjacent to another so that you have an idea that when the examiner opens up your document, he knows what is being, he sees something like this and he feels something very comfortable upon seeing this. So within 3 minutes I have revised your previous lecture. Now let us start with the mistakes. What not to do. This is very important for the beginners. Why? Now why is it important? I have explained this in a previous lecture, but I will still do because I want them all the argument, report and essay to be standalone lectures. So you have your 20 marks for an 20 marks for an argument. Maximum you can score if you write everything perfectly is a 10 marker. Everything perfect is a 10 marker. Realistically, toppers score somewhere between 7 to 8.5. Realistically talking, 8.5. And for a beginner who is just writing, who is filling just 2 pages out of 3, he may score somewhere between 2 to 3 marks in the actual UPSC exam. That too is a bit high, but yeah, once you follow this lecture series, that is both the parts of argument, you can jump from your 2 marks to as close as 6 marks. Now unlike report, argument has more to do with content than with the format. In report, the format is very important. In argument, your content is much more important than your format because there is nothing to be formatted over here. You just have to write in a clear, brief manner such that it is easier to read and you are able to communicate what you think is what you write, is what the other person reads, and what he or she understands. That is the entire cycle of communication, and you have to complete that cycle of communication by the written word, not by verbal speaking. From 2 to 6 you can jump, but you need good content for that. That is nowhere a doubt. And along with content, what I have always tried to tell everyone is the power of expression. The power of expression needs to be improved. Now I'm not going to write this down, and because it is a very theoretical topic what I'm talking about right now. Power of expression refers to the fact which I just said right now, that you are able to express what you're thinking. For that you need good vocabulary, you need good grammar, you need to be able to form sentences. And once you have achieved this basic English skills, basic English vocabulary, sentence and grammar, once you have achieved these 3 things, then you move to the next step, that is sentence formation of smaller sentences. You form small sentences, not long, not complicated. I will show in the examples in the next pages on what not to do. So I will be showing you with examples, but first I want you to keep your pens down and I want you to listen to me very carefully. आप हिंदी माध्यम के छात्र हैं या आपने अभी अभी इंग्लिश शुरू किया है या आपको इंग्लिश बहुत अच्छे से नहीं आती है, तो आप पहले शब्द व्याकरण सीखें, आप अपनी वोकेबलरी सुधारें, आप अखबार पढ़ें, किताबें पढ़ें, बाकियों के एस्से पढ़ें ताकि आप नए शब्द सीख सकें। दूसरी चीज़, आप छोटे छोटे सेंटेंसेस बनाया करें हमेशा, ना कि 35 शब्दों का एक सेंटेंस। आप छोटे छोटे सेंटेंसेस बनाएंगे, आप बेहतर अपनी बात को दर्शा पाएंगे। तीसरी चीज़, ग्रामर यानी व्याकरण आपका शुद्ध होना चाहिए अंग्रेज़ी भाषा में। आपको टेंस टेंस यानी भूतकाल और पास्ट और प्रेजेंट और फ्यूचर का आपको अच्छी समझ होनी चाहिए। इंग्लिश सेंटेंस में इज़ एंड द आर्टिकल कहाँ लगता है वो आपको सही समझ आना चाहिए। सब्जेक्ट वर्ब एग्रीमेंट करके एक चीज़ होती है ग्रामर में, वो आपको अच्छे से आना चाहिए। ये सभी चीज़ें जब आप बेसिक इंग्लिश की सीख लें उसके बाद आप इन चीज़ों पे और डेवलप कर सकते हैं, जहाँ पर आप वर्ड्स के साथ थोड़ा गेम खेलें, थोड़े सेंटेंसेस को ऊपर नीचे सही ऑर्डर में अरेंज करें, ये आप कर सकते हैं। Another point to focus on what not to do is not to put the unimportant points first. Suppose there is an argument, suppose there is an argument in favor of marital rape should be criminalized. Now, protection from abuse is obviously the first point, but under Article 21 is a constitutional thing. And it is very important because it is the right to life. This point can be placed above at number 1 or number 2. That is okay. But closing legal loopholes is not the first thing. So that can be shifted downstairs. So you need to arrange the points in the correct order. What is the correct order? Correct order is what is important, that comes first. What is least important or least impactful, that comes at the end. जो चीज़ आपके आर्ग्यूमेंट इन फेवर को सबसे ज़्यादा सपोर्ट करता है उसको आप सबसे पहले लिखेंगे, और जो चीज़ कम मायने की रखती है उसे आप अंत में लिखेंगे. नाउ हाउ डू यू गेट दिस ऑर्डर? You get this order by thinking before writing. That is the only thing I'm going to say. You need to think before you write. That's it. You need to close the loophole. This candidate has not underlined anything and he has written 3 pages, so it becomes slightly a bit to read. And example is always written as EG and not EX. This is the Oxford style of writing E dot G dot. So please write EG dot or E dot G dot as per your wish. But yeah, you need to follow some standard rules in writing. And I believe the Oxford rules of writing are very coherent and proper to be followed in exams like UPSC. So yes. Now this question is, banning nuclear weapons will make the planet more peaceful. Now this is a very good topic and it is a very contemporary topic. Now this candidate has written India has completed 25 years. Okay, he is stating some current relevance. It hasn't seen full-fledged war. I don't know why this has been written. Since nuclear test of Smiling Buddha. On the other hand, the Oppenheimer movie launched recently shows the concern by nuclear weapon. Now the candidate has already shown one relevance by 25 years. Why are you drawing another relevance? Because you are writing two things and you are wasting your time, your space and your mental occupation. Why? Because you get marks for writing the argument, not for writing intro. One intro itself is fine. Like the evaluator has given it over here. That is very correct what the evaluator has said. Argument for banning. Now this argument, see, he has boxed, but writing the word for has not been in capital. Now for this candidate I would suggest that he writes the for with capitals, capital F, and he boxes for itself, or he boxes the argument for entirely. Matlab he boxes this thing entirely, argument for, and then he can write this. And boxing the entire thing may remove the importance from the word for. It just has to be neat, all right? That is the main thing, so that the examiner knows what you're writing. This is another thing. This was a good this one had a good power of expression, if I recall. Technology has the potential to replace manpower. Now this has been the discussion since AI came to power, that artificial intelligence will replace us or not and all that. Now this candidate has written argument for here, okay, and he or she has written with the capital FOR. So I'm clear, okay, this is for from downstairs. But this candidate has given half or almost 2/3 of the page to writing an introduction. Now what did I explain over here in the starting, in the what to do things? That you should bring out the dichotomy within this space only, and you start with the for, right from the half a page and less than half a page if possible. So this candidate has spent too much time, and although he or she has given this much time and written in good language, good content, easier, quicker, accurate, it is very verbose, but yeah, it is good content, but not much marks will be gained out of writing this, because marks are for the argument. This is just to show the examiner that you know what you are saying. And even after writing argument for, the candidate has written two more lines. Today technology has a great place in human life which made everything looks easy. There is no need for this. This is perfect for an essay but not sure such long for interviews. This is another mistake. Then one more mistake which I have frequently come across is that the conclusions are not relevant, or they try to bring in some new point in a conclusion. Now that has to be avoided. Like, the conclusions are not to introduce new points. This is something which I want to emphasize on, because I have seen many candidates who introduce new points within the conclusion. You are to summarize in a conclusion. And always, irrespective of what the topic is, what side you take, you have to show an optimistic end, and the conclusion cannot be biased. This is one more thing which you all have to mug up, that the conclusion cannot be biased. The conclusion which you write, I know the arguments are on for and against. There are two parts. I completely understand that. But you are not to lean your scale towards one side, that I am more towards for, and I personally believe that this should be done, that simultaneous election should be done. No, you do not present your opinion. Please be clear in that. Essay, report, or argument, you do not present personal opinion. If they want to know your personal opinion, and if you are worthy of it, they will call you for UPSC interview and you will give your personal opinion there. But when you write the paper 2 of CAPF, you do not give any personal opinions. Your conclusion cannot be biased. You do not lean to any one side. Like if the candidate here ends up saying that one nation, one election should be implemented, and the above argument supports so, then that is wrong. You don't write that. If you say that this thing, that one nation, one election should not be brought, you can't lean on one side and then give the arguments for and against. That is wrong. And similarly, another mistake which I have seen, I haven't put a screenshot of it, that many a times for the new candidates, that instead of writing a dichotomy, they bring out, or they write in such a way that they end up leaning towards one side. This happens due to somewhat lack of maturity in writing. Now, for my Hindi candidates, I'll just wrap this up with a brief Hindi, that आपका जो कंक्लूजन आएगा अंत में, वो किसी भी एक तरफ लीन नहीं होना चाहिए. आप फॉर और अगेंस्ट दोनों में ही बराबर पॉइंट्स देने का प्रयत्न करें एग्ज़ाम में. और आप एक तरफ लीन ना करने के लिए अपनी भाषा को सुधारना बहुत ज़रूरी है, ताकि आप गलती से भी ऐसी बात ना लिखें जिससे एग्ज़ामिनर को पढ़ते वक्त ये लगे कि आप एक ही तरफ जा रहे हैं. इंट्रोडक्शन हो चाहे कंक्लूजन हो, कहीं पे भी. एंड ऑलवेज ट्राई टू राइट equal number of points in the argument. And even if you are not able to recoil maybe one or two points in against or for, just leave some space and you can write it later. Especially in against, you have the space because you have almost half a page empty. And always write the conclusion with ample space. Like, this sentence was written later, I think, by this candidate. That's why there is a space here. But even if not, the conclusion, there is this much space here, almost 1 inch. If something bad happens, or if the candidate has to write a sixth point, he or she can just put in a subheading and leave it here as a last resort. So you leave some comfortable space here so that you can add. And if you have written, suppose instead of 5 the candidate has written only 4 points, okay, suppose there are only 4 points here and this is blank, this is blank. So now what we will do is we will leave the space here, and from here from somewhat here the arguments against will start, so that you have this much space to write your fifth point if you recall it later in exam. So spacing within the QCAB is very important. That is why I always ask the students to write in 16 by 23, to write in such a manner that in the actual exam day you are able to evenly space it out, you are able to fill the entire pages, and you fill it within 250 to 75 words. You don't need to go for 300 words. If you express yourself better with 275 250 words, you are going to score more marks, you are going to save more time, so that you can focus on essay, because essay will take your most time, and we will deal with essay in lecture number 4 that will be coming very soon. So thank you very much. Please focus. Please see the toppers PYQs after this lecture. All the 10 PYQs, all the 10 years. Solve the questions yourself. Match with the toppers copy. That way you will learn where you are committing mistake, because these topics are relevant. This topic came in 2022, this can again come in 2026-27. So topics are relevant. You should solve the paper by yourself, argument, and then you check with the toppers copy on how they have written, because they have also prepared and written properly for you, so the content is good there. But rather than focusing on content, you should focus on the language and how they are writing and the way they are writing. So you can do that, and we will deal with the report and essay next. So report has been done, essay will come soon. Best of luck, keep preparing hard, and keep seeing this lecture every 3 to 4 months, so that you know that you are on track. Thank you. Greetings of the day, everyone. This is your last session of the series. It is based on essay answer writing, and the prerequisites of this are that you should have completed your report and 2 lectures of your argument, 2A 2B, whatever the numbering you give. There are 3 videos, you must have covered them. Only and only after that you come on the essay, because I am not going to repeat the same things which I have told in the previous 2, because I want to keep this thing very short, very much focused on the essay, nothing else. I'll start. There are 1 question of 80 marks, so you have 80 marks over here. As I am showing a screenshot. So this is the official question paper which came. Write essays on any 4 of the following in about 300 words. We'll discuss about the paging and everything, but 300, okay? And each you have to choose 4, so 80 marks. Out of this 80, a good candidate, not a good, a very good candidate, a veteran, will score 55, maybe on a good day, and an average candidate who has just started may score somewhere around 12, maybe. I'm just giving an estimate. 3 marks, 4 marks for every 12 to 16 marks you may score as per official UPSC key, if you are just starting out and you have not done too much of writing practice. With this lecture, I aim to improve you from 12 to 16 up to 27 to 28. This is my aim. Okay, essay, the improvement is much harder than argument and report writing, because argument and report writing are more into format, spacing, correct content, less content, lesser words, so it is easier to improve. But in the essay, it is 300 words. It is not very long, but 300 words writing in the proper flow of thought. I'll be using this word again and again, the word flow of thought and clarity of expression, because Those are the only two things which differentiate between a person who is scoring 27 28 and a person who is scoring 55 and above. That is the only thing which differentiates these two people. Content and clarity of thought and power of expression. Because a person who's scoring 35 and a person who's scoring 50 55, they almost have the same content. What I have seen, they have almost the same content, and they tend to have the same knowledge, but they are not able to express it at the correct point of time. So this is what we have spoken of the markings and what I aim to help you with this lecture. This is for beginners and we'll talk about that. So we have some questions here. Endangered species, environment, wars, that is your external security, internal security, security basically. Indian Armed Forces, women, this is current affairs topic. Price rise is your economy topic. Eastern and wisdom, this I will talk about. This is something different. Indian Armed Forces comprehend strategic thinking and timely action. This is also internal security. If you analyze all the past 10-year PYQs, you will see there is always a trend. In 6 of them, 2 will be internal security, one or two will be current affairs, one will be environment, and one will be something weird or something different or something which you may not have read. मेरा कहने का यहाँ पर अर्थ है कि यदि आप पिछले 10 साल के प्रश्नों को एक साथ रख कर उन पर विचार करें तो आप एक ट्रेंड पाएंगे. सॉरी, मुझे ट्रेंड का हिंदी वर्ड नहीं पता. आप एक पद्धति पाएंगे जिससे आप पता कर पाएंगे कि अगले साल या हर साल किस तरह के प्रश्न आते हैं. 2 प्रश्न हमेशा इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी के आते हैं, एक एनवायरनमेंट से आता है, 2 करंट अफेयर्स से आते हैं, ये 2 करंट अफेयर्स से हैं, और एक सवाल विचित्र किस्म का आता है जिसके बारे में पहले से कुछ नहीं कहा जा सकता. And especially this question, Eastern wisdom and Western science, I would not suggest you to attempt this. Yeah, I attempted this in exam because I was very good at this topic. I knew a lot of content in this. But yeah, normal candidates, please avoid attempting this question. This is very different and very nuanced topic, and it is very hard to score marks in this unless you have the proper content with proper thought process already made before the exam. You can't sit and think about this and write a good 8 to 10 marker essay in the exam if you don't know this already. So please avoid, if you see such questions, they are a trap, avoid them. Your choice of 4 matters a lot. आप किन प्रश्नों को चुनते हैं वो बहुत मायने रखता है एग्जाम में, क्योंकि वही आपको मार्क्स दिलाएंगे. So your choice has to be very accurate. This particular essay of Eastern wisdom is something which you should not attempt in the exam if you don't know it beforehand. अगर आपने ईस्टर्न विजडम और वेस्टर्न साइंस के बारे में पहले से आपने नहीं प्रिपेयर करके रखा है तो आप एग्ज़ाम में ये प्रश्न ना अटेम्प्ट करें. ये वहाँ पर अटेम्प्ट करने में आपको ज़्यादा मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे और कॉन्फिडेंस भी नहीं आएगा. Similarly, this is another paper, another PYQ, last 2 years, 22 and 23, these two I have taken to show you. Cyber attacks, international relations, education, this is your normal generic thing, okay, generic. This is your quirky or environment side, you can say e-waste. And last is your geographical and linguistic diversity, is its real wealth. This is also something which you should try to avoid because it is very easy for you to go off the topic, not writing relevant to the topic. This very easily you can divert from the topic. That is why this is something which you should avoid. I will explain about this later when I show what not to do. So this we will see out. So in this द करेक्ट चॉइस, इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी आप सभी लोग प्रिपेयर करके जाते हैं क्योंकि इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी का ही पूरा एग्ज़ाम है बेसिकली. आप CAPF इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए ही हो. तो साइबर अटैक्स यू शुड हैव अटेम्प्टेड. इंडिया इज़ एमर्जिंग लीडर, ये हर जगह हर अखबार में G20 के लिए लिखा ही लिखा था. तो ये एक एक्सपेक्टेड क्वेश्चन था कि आने ही वाला है G20 से. इंडियन डायस्पोरा भी, आर ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैज़ given lot of highlight, lot of importance to Pravasi Bharatiya, the NRIs, OCI. So this was also kind of expected question. You knew and you read in the newspapers. Education awareness is a very simple static question. E-waste, yeah, you could have attempted just here and there. Maybe you could not have gone into the deep rules, but yeah, you need to attempt only 4 now. So 4 is done. Yeah, you could have left these two. इधर you could have gone for what can be done to stop wars, endangered species. आप बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स लिख सकते हैं इसमें जो आपने सुने होंगे, टाइगर, एलिफेंट, वल्चर, प्राइस राइज कॉज एंड इफेक्ट, इंडियन आर्म्ड फोर्सेस. ये दिस इज ऑल्सो वेरी नुआंस टॉपिक इफ यू वांट टू स्कोर 10 out of 20. But yeah, if you write average also you'll get 5 to 6. But yeah, I will teach you how to break down and write it. This will come into the nuanced lecture which I will take. This is for beginners, so we'll see. What is the aim of this lecture? To explain basic answer writing formats, how to think, how to collect resources, and avoiding the basic errors. You know the format because this is the last one you are doing, so you have done my lectures previously. Targeted students, if you are a beginner, you are new, you have not done proper guidance, you are shifting your language medium. यदि आप हिंदी से अंग्रेज़ी माध्यम में आ रहे हैं तो ये लेक्चर आपके लिए है, ताकि आप अंग्रेज़ी माध्यम में ही चीज़ें सुनें, उन्हें समझें और अंग्रेज़ी माध्यम से ही सोचें, ताकि एग्ज़ाम परीक्षा के दिन आपका वक्त बच सके. एग्ज़ाम के दिन यदि आप हर चीज़ अंग्रेज़ी में पढ़ के उसे दिमाग में ट्रांसलेट करके सोचते हैं, फिर आप उत्तर निकाल के उसको फिर से ट्रांसलेट करके आप लिखते हैं, तो आप अपना ही वक्त ज़ाया कर रहे हैं. Expected duration, I can't comment on this one. I want to keep it very brief, okay? Because I have already taught most of the things and the thinking process to you. If you have any doubts, you see the previous lectures at least twice. When आप अभी देख रहे हो, at least view all the lectures twice. आपने एक दिन देखा, then you see the lecture again after 3 days. You see the same lecture again after 3 days, and you practice at least 1 or 2 questions of report or argument, whatever lecture you are watching. You practice at least 2 questions of that, and then you see that again on the third day. You keep your answer copy with you, what you have written, and you think that what I am saying to you in the lecture and what you have written in your copy. You do your evaluation with what to do and what not to do while viewing my lecture. Then you will understand where you are going wrong. You can evaluate your own copies if you have my guidance. I don't believe in just taking the copies, checking them, giving back. No. My aim is to make you Atmanirbhar. You should be able to check your own copies once you graduate from here. Okay, what will I explain? QCAB, basic format to follow. What to do? I will be taking 3 essays over here. This will be the major part of the discussion. Okay, today this will be the major part. What to do? I'll be taking 3 essays from these only, and I'll be explaining them to you in depth. What to do, how it is written. I'll be also teaching you the content also this time, because I've gotten some feedback on the content. So, okay. What not to do, I'll be delving a bit, but most what not to do you have learnt in your argument and report. Okay, so since you have done the argument and report, I am not going to repeat the same what not to do, because most of it is same. So okay, that's something you learnt. I will be showing, and you have to read the veteran and topper answer copies, handwritten copies, which are given to you on the Telegram channel. I have also taken from them because I am one among them. So that's the good thing. Yeah, now your QCAB 16 by 23 unruled A4 with 4 inches. I have already taught this to you. 16 by 23, you know the sizes, you know how it is to be done. I'm not going to teach you again and waste 10 minutes of my time and your time. Your time is equally important as mine, and I respect the students' time. That is why I don't take long lectures, because I don't find the use in it. Okay, that's why I speak fast. If you think I'm speaking faster, you reduce my speed on YouTube. You can check, you can go to settings or downstairs in the video, and you can click on that settings button, and you can choose the playback speed. You can reduce it down if you don't find it okay. So that's why I speak fast, so that you catch up, you finish it fast. Please follow the for those who are under the paper evaluation segment, please write your name in this particular topic. I'm not going to teach you again and again. and please make a proper PDF with Adobe PDF is the preferred app, because it is free to use, easy to use, and it is by a proper company called Adobe, so it's good. Yeah, now I'll show you the QCAB. Okay, this is the first page of your official QCAB from UPSC. You can see the word specimen written on top of it. These specimen, this is the 2021 official paper. Okay, this is the 2021 official QCAB. This has been shared by the UPSC on its website. You can download, print, and write the 2021 paper yourself on the official QCAB. So again the question is here, Chinese economic policy in countries bordering India. I will be teaching this topic next. You have your first page, you write your introduction here, you explain what the topic is or what the current relevance is. आप यहाँ पर जैसे कि स्टैटिक टॉपिक है, अगर वॉट कैन बी डन टू स्टॉप वॉर्स में आप वॉर्स के बारे में लिखेंगे, इंडेंजर्ड स्पीशीज़ में आप इंडेंजर्ड स्पीशीज़ के बारे में लिखेंगे. लेकिन अगर आप सी एस से लिखते हैं, इमर्जिंग पैराग्राफ ऑफ वुमेन इन इंडियन आर्म फोर्सेस, तो इसमें आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हो कि परमानेंट कमीशन से आया था, इसीलिए अभी न्यूज़ में है, परमानेंट कमीशन रिलेटेड जजमेंट आया था. Since this has a current affairs relevance, you can start with the current affairs introduction. Here in the first essay, you can start with the static introduction, that conservation and the campaign is very necessary, important, ecosystem balance. You can write your own stuff. Okay, so you write the intro here, 1 to 2 lines, then you start with your body. Some basic rules I'll teach you. Basic rules: no subheadings. Okay, advanced candidates don't engage in subheadings. No subheadings. Second, no long paras of more than 3/4 of page. You in CAPF exam you should never write long paragraphs. This is not the civil services mains where you can write 3/4 of a page of a paragraph, because you're discussing philosophical ideas. But here no, here the longest para will be half a page. That's it. You won't go longer than that. You don't, any of the essays, they don't have such long points that you need to go more than half a page to explain what one particular point. Indentation should be same. By indentation I will show you what it means. Indentation means every time, suppose this is the straight line, then every time it starts from the same place, in Pakistan, in Maldives, China, you see everything is starting from the same space. This is called indentation, the gap you have left here. So please make sure you leave the same gap. In many copies I have also shown you, in the previous copies, people leave this much line of gap and they start in Maldives here. I don't know what is the point of it. Why are you wasting so much of space? Even this veteran who has written over here, he has left a bit much space. Yeah, you can reduce a bit in exam, that's fine. Yeah, but you don't leave almost the entire line and you write one word at the end. No, that is not okay. So please take care of the indentation. Longest para, no subheadings. Fifth, no diagrams, charts. Sixth, no bullet points. Okay. Seventh, don't try anything new or weird in exam. Don't go experimenting. Okay, don't go experimenting new formats in exam. Many people venture out and then they will come with a hub and spoke diagram or a very complicated flow chart or something. No, please, your essay should be in and only in paragraphs, nothing else. Your essay will be 3 pages of continuous paragraphs, nothing else. Nothing else is allowed. Please अपने दिमाग में बैठा लीजिए ढंग से. So this was your first page, this is your second, and this is your third page. Second page mein you will again write three paragraphs or maybe 4 if you have written small paras. Here again you will write 2 paragraphs and then you will write a small conclusion and you will finish it off here. Like I have explained in the argument, I am repeating the point. Better than writing 300 words, better you write 250 to 275 words. You space them out properly to complete the page as much as possible, and you score more marks with efficient wording. आप 300 पूरे शब्द भरने की बजाय आप इधर उधर की बातें लिखें. आप 250 से 275 शब्दों का प्रयोग करें, अपनी बात को पूरी लिखें, और ऐसी जगह छोड़ें कि आपका पेपर ऑलमोस्ट यहाँ तक या यहाँ तक आके ख़त्म हो जाए. इतनी जगह रह जाए तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है आपको. आप 250 से 275 शब्द लिखने में आप अपनी बात को क्लियरली लिखेंगे, आप अपनी टॉपिक से इधर उधर हटेंगे नहीं, आपका वक्त बचेगा और आपको सोचने के लिए भी वक्त मिलेगा, क्योंकि 300 शब्द लिखने में आपको वक्त लगेगा, हाथ चलेगा. इट विल टेक टाइम टू राइट and it will take time to think, because you are going to think out of the topic of essay to write to complete the 300 words. You are a beginner, that is why I am assuming that you will be somewhat lacking in content, somewhat, not entirely. आप 300 वर्ड भर पाओगे, लेकिन वो पूरे वर्ड इस टॉपिक से रेलिवेंट, इस टॉपिक की डिमांड को मीट करते हुए भर पाओगे या नहीं, दैट इज़ अ क्वेश्चन विच हैज़ टू बी आंसर्ड. Okay, so these are the 3 pages. So we are almost 20 minutes into it. Now I'll show you, there are 3 essays. China economic policy, 3 pages. Urbanization is hazardous to health. This is your quirky topic. Okay, quirky topic. China is your international relations topic. And third, I have taken infiltrators are a threat to India's security. All these 3 are 2021 answers. This is your internal security. So I have taken 3 topics of 3 different types so that I can show you how it is written. Then what not to do. What not to do, I'll cover it up first so that it's easier. I will show what to do in the part where the answers are written by toppers and veteran. Urbanization, I have also taken an urbanization topic. Right now I have showed you, I'll explain that. This candidate has written urbanization, he has written a proper definition by the numbers. Okay, he has learnt it. Then now you see, he has written, this is his page. Okay, he has written this long of an introduction, and I don't know where his intro stopped and where his body started. No clue what is happening. Okay, and he has given definition. He has talked about world population. He is talking about what is an urban area, municipality, corporation, cantonment. It is, as an examiner, I can feel he is copying this from his class notes or someplace else. And minimum he is giving down the criteria. I mean, topic is urbanization, merit and challenges associated. He is talking about cantonment board and what is a criteria for a notified down area committee. I mean, how is this relevant? He is talking about urbanization, industrialization, industrial revolution. I mean, what the heck? What is the topic? Topic is merit, topic is challenge. You write an intro of urbanization, you go into merits, you write 1.5 pages of merit, you write 1.5 pages of challenges, and you write a conclusion. That's over. That's it. Nothing else. But no, he has not gone into that. आप एक एस्से को, आई एम गोइंग टू टीच यू हाउ टू थिंक बिफोर राइटिंग द एस्से. आप एस्से को एक बुलेट पॉइंट मान के चलो. यू टेक इट एज एन आंसर, यू फ्रेम द आंसर बिफोर राइटिंग इट. आप सोचो, व्हाट विल आई राइट इन द इंट्रो? आई विल राइट द डेफिनेशन, आई विल राइट करंट अफेयर्स, आई विल राइट स्टेटिस्टिक्स, और आई विल गो विथ एन एनेक्डोट. जो आपको लिखना है, यू डिसाइड इट बिफोर हैंड. Then you decide on the points. Okay, merits and challenges, you broken down the topic. Merit mein I can write these 5 points as merit. Challenges, I can write these 5 points as challenges. Then you think, क्या मैं इन 5 points पे example दे सकता हूँ? Can I give an example for this? Can I give the example of Indore as Swachh Bharat? Can I give the example of any city in Bihar which has challenges in urbanization? Example of Mumbai with poor drainage, that is a challenge. Pollution in Delhi, that is a challenge. So these are examples. So you fit the examples with the points. Now you have an intro, you have the points with the examples or data facts with them, and a conclusion. Even if you don't have a conclusion, you are running out of time, you start writing. By the time you write 3/4 of the essay, you will get an idea what you are going to write in the conclusion. So that is how you think, and after you think, you write. This thinking process should take 1 to 2 minutes, or maybe even 3 minutes. Okay, in the exam for easier topics I take about 2 minutes, and for the harder topics I take 3.5 minutes also, like in the Eastern Science, Eastern Wisdom, that question. It takes more time, but the reason why I personally give more time is because I have a lot of knowledge and I am able to put them in a structured manner for easier understanding of the examiner, and I frame what I'm going to fit where. Those are nuanced topics, I'll talk about it some other day. So you try giving 1 to 2 minutes and you start writing. Second one, again, urbanization, merits and challenges associated. Again, what is the first line? Population shifted from rural to urban areas referred to as urbanization. This is very generic and not at all specific. So, okay. It's not okay. Yeah, let's go on. In India, urbanization has been such a rapidly growing trend in recent decades. The population of Indian cities and towns has been increasing faster than rural population. I mean, okay, everyone knows, but why are you wasting 4 lines and the crucial attention of the examiner on such a statement? I mean, he could have given some data to justify it, then it's okay. But he's writing generic thought, and it is not adding anything new. It is not even relevant to the topic entirely. Okay, according now he's giving data, and now you see he has underlined it end to end. अब इन्होंने पूरा पैराग्राफ अंडरलाइन कर दिया. What was the point of it? You could have just underlined one line or one word and I would have read that word for you. But no, he has underlined the entire paragraph. Now what is important in the paragraph? It is not the duty of the examiner to figure out what is important in your essay. It is your duty to show the examiner that what is important in the essay. Then he has written a lot of generic words which are of no consequence. So this is not what not to do. Rest you see argument and report and you will realize a lot of more things. Now let me come to this. Chinese economic policy, what to do? I will go very fast because I have already spent 25 minutes in this. I'll spend another 15 minutes maybe on these 3 essays together, and then we'll wrap it off. Rest the things I'll discuss when I take the nuanced lectures for the advanced aspirants and the veteran people. Okay, so Chinese economic policy in countries bordering India, that is the topic. So this is a very static topic. The topic is not loaded. The topic is not asking you to take a side or give an opinion. The topic is asking you to just tell me what is the Chinese economic policy in countries bordering India. So this is going to be a very tone deaf kind of answer. It is going to be very static. It is going to be slightly factual because you are describing something, you are not convincing something. Okay. China, in its aim to expand its global influence, is using lucrative economic policies. Now you see, aiding other nations. This is the first line. In the first line, the veteran has used China, economic policies which are lucrative, aiding other nations. China is from the topic, economic policy is from the topic, other nations is from the topic, countries bordering India. So within the first statement, when the examiner reads, he knows that okay, the candidate has understood the question and he is answering as per the demand of the question. Within first sentence itself you have shown that examiner देख लो, मुझे पता है मैं क्या लिख रहा हूँ, मुझे पता है क्यों लिख रहा हूँ, और जो आपने पूछा है मैं उसी का ही उत्तर दे रहा हूँ. And this word lucrative, this is your actionable word which I taught you previously. You have to write actionable subheading. This is your actionable word. What kind of economic policy? Lucrative economic policy. Countries bordering India. Now this is underlined. Now this is underlined. That means the examiner is going to read it. And I am showing here. When I say I mean the person whoever is writing this. He is showing that see, I have written as per the topic you are asking. Countries bordering India have also been significantly impacted because of this. We shall explore these policies and decipher their geopolitical significance. Now within this, itne se, In less than half a page, he has given an idea of what is happening, why you have asked the question. He has told the topic, and he has also developed the interest of the examiner that dekho, I am going to tell you this and this in the essay, so you read further. So I mean, this is the perfect introduction that I have seen. The modus operandi is to offer loans at high rates to underdeveloped nations. Upon default on loans, China takes over their infra or other assets, thus establishing permanent global influence. Within two sentences, he has explained the entire idea of China and their economic policy. Within two sentences, very crisp. This vision is implemented by string of pearls and BRI, and now you have dropped the keywords relevant to the topic. The examiner knows that this is the keyword and you have to tell this, so you have dealt it. Now you see, introduction is done, explanation of the topic is done. Now the candidate has started with the examples, because I told this is a descriptive thing. So in Sri Lanka, 90 million was already granted by China. Another 500 million loan is being discussed. Hambantota port is taken over. Now you see, even if the examiner does not see anything, does not read, he will see Sri Lanka, he will see Hambantota port, he will see taken over. That when he connects these three things, he will realize that okay, what the modus operandi this candidate explained earlier, that is being shown over here. That is why Sri Lanka is the first example, not the later ones. In Pakistan, now you see, in Sri Lanka, underline Sri Lanka, first para Sri Lanka, second para Pakistan, third para Maldives, fourth para Myanmar, Tibet, fifth para China. Now, without even reading, the examiner can feel the structure. He can feel the structure just by looking at the essay. He does not even need to read. He will see, okay, लड़के ने पाकिस्तान का लिखा है. He has written about Maldives, Myanmar, Tibet, currency manipulation. Because the examiner has read hundreds of essays on this very topic within the past few days when he's checking your copy. Because you are not the first copy he's checking. So he knows what you are going to write. Everyone is going to write Hambantota port. Everyone is going to write Gwadar port. He knows what is going to come. He just needs to see if you have written it or not. Pakistan, BRI and China-Pakistan Economic Corridor used to support crippling economy. Gwadar port, benefit. Maldives, 40%, good. Similar incidents or statistics also show the depth of China's economic policy on countries bordering India. Now you see, again he has used the topic. Every time you stay relevant to the topic asked, this candidate has not moved away from the topic which is asked in the exam. For example, Myanmar, Tibet. China, Tibet is wrong. Tibet cannot be written. Tibet is a part of China itself now. Okay, this is wrong. This is factually wrong. Avoid it. China also uses currency manipulation and gains from forex market to finance unstable projects abroad. Now you see, he has used 2 points. He has connected it with the topic because of the word abroad, and he has also discussed on how their economic policy works. This is as per project 301 report of the US government. Okay, 301, yeah, it is on currency manipulation. India is also on this report, and there's a special watch list also on this, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. These ports, roads, etc. infrastructure is giving a strategic upper hand to China's world supply chains. Now you have signified the importance of the topic, that why is it important, why China's policy is impacting India. The brewing rivalry is fueled by predatory economic policies. Now you see, this is another actionable word. Previously I used lucrative, now I have written predatory economic policies and impacting India's sphere of influence. This is a specific IR related keyword which you have to drop. This debt trap policy needs to be stopped for long term stability of the world. And what is the importance of this thing on the world scale? Initiatives like US aid, AAGC and budgetary aid may bring a resolute counter to China's economic policy. So with a conclusion, he has given a solution, 3 solutions, and he has told a bright future to China's economic, bright future to counter this issue. I mean, with this itself you can see the intro is perfect, The explanation is perfect, examples with data, followed by emphasis, importance, and a perfect optimistic conclusion. I mean, this kind of essay will score 12 or maybe 13 out of 20, 12 out of 20, no doubt, at least above 10 on any good day. So that is your IR. Second, I'm 32 minutes. Okay, I'll go straight to this internal security one because this is more important for you, for beginners especially, because this is something which you can write, you can prepare, because it is a limited syllabus topic. Infiltrators are a threat to India's security. What are the keywords? Infiltrators, threat, India's security. This is a very static topic, very simple topic. You could have prepared this topic, you should have prepared this topic before the exam. Okay, and you must have facts on this because this is of internal security, and internal security you study in depth before your CAPF exam. Infiltrators are individuals or groups who illegally cross without authorization. India has majorly two types of infiltrators. Now he has given a static intro because this is a static topic, and he has written two types of infiltrators. First, okay, within this paragraph he has spoken of the two types. First are for terrorism purposes, for example Pakistan, Nepal. Second, for refugee or asylum purposes. He has categorized the infiltrators into two parts, terrorism and into refugee, and now he will talk on each of them. This shows clarity of thought, clarity of thought. And next we are, this is a proper example of clarity of thought. The proper example of flow of thought I forgot to mention here. Proper example of flow of thought is here. Modus operandi, he has clarity of thought in this paragraph. Okay, he has clarity of thought in this paragraph, and he has shown flow of thought in this particular page. The way he has written Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Maldives, this is the flow of thought. He has given the proper flow, that see how it is coming. So he has talked about two types. Now spread of infiltration leads to spread of terrorism, drug smuggling, arms trade, counterfeiting, and other nefarious activities. These impact India's national security. Now you read this sentence carefully. These impact India's national security. Why did he write this? He could have avoided writing this sentence. है ना? This is something very obvious to everyone. But why did he write this? And why on earth did the candidate underline this? India's national security. Now pause and think and make a guess. Why? Now the reason why is because it is in the topic of the essay. Threat to India's security. These impact India's national security. He is reiterating the topic so that the examiner knows, the examiner sees, dekho, I am not deviating from the topic. Why most people score out of 20, they score 3 or 2 marks? Why? Because they don't write to the topic of the essay. That is why they don't score marks. People have the content. You see, any good candidate who has studied at least for a few months will know these points. Okay, सभी को ये points पता है. That spread of terrorism है, drug smuggling है, arms trade, counterfeiting. Okay, FICN, you know this. But these impact national security. These are the, with an example, 2611. These are the kind of two value additions, example and a statement, which push this candidate different from the beginners, because he is able to emphasize and show the importance of it in the exam to the examiner. That is why he took the point. A beginner candidate also knows these points. He took the point and he connected this point to the topic asked of the essay. That is why he scores higher marks. Infiltrators, when allowed unchecked, can alter demographic patterns leading to social and political unrest. For example, NRC in Assam caused by Bangladeshi. This is a threat to internal security.
It's 10:30.
Now you see, in this paragraph, infiltrators allowed, okay, with political unrest, and he gave a very good example of NRC in Assam. Now NRC in Assam everyone knows, and it is caused by Bangladeshi refugees. People will stop here. This is a threat to internal security. This shows the examiner that, see, I am relating this to the topic asked. That is very important in the essay. Infiltrators engage in employment and occupy resources, thus impacting their availability to local population, availability of employment and resources. This contributes to social unrest. For example, in West Bengal, you see this, he has again explained an impact of infiltrators and how they become security issues. Spread of thought. This, now you see, he has separated two paragraphs differently here because he's talking on a new idea. Spread of thought, left wing extremism, arms and ammunition supplied. This is a threat to unity and integrity of India. See, at the end of everything, at the end of every major para, this candidate is connecting it to the topic of the essay, and every time he is using different words. You see, this impact India's national security. This is a threat to internal security. This is a threat to unity and integrity of India. He's using the word threat. He might not be using the word security. Here, he is using the word security, but he's not using the word threat. So you see, he's playing around with the words of the question given. He's playing around with this, and he shows how my point is relevant. I know I'm repeating my point again and again, but this point is very hard for people to understand and even harder to implement. Counterfeiting is a threat to economic. Now you see, he has again delved into an idea. Within India's security, he has gone into economic security. Who told it is internal security? The question is talking about security, right? This security can be physical, electrical, economic, anything. So he has talked about economic security. The solution. Now you see, the moment he wrote solution, he boxed it, so that I don't even want to read the entire para. I can read border management, surveillance, solution, and I know the candidate has written correctly. Why? Because he has boxed the word solution. So very important keywords like challenges, issues, solution. These keywords you can box within the essay. Here there is no need to mention the word challenges, but yeah, like suppose I explain to you now over here merits and challenges. When you write the first sentence of merits, you can box the word merit, and after one and a half page, when you write about challenges associated, you can box the word challenges. Like here, the candidate has boxed the word solution. This boxing should be done for, you should avoid it, but if you do, for 2 to 3 words in the entire essay, that's all. You won't do it more than that. With latest technological upgrades, coastal and aerial surveillance, stricter immigration checks, government initiatives, he has written, okay, but government initiatives is something which every aspirant is going to write. So he did not underline this. Why? Because he knows everyone is writing this. I am not doing anything new by writing the word government initiatives. So the examiner is not going to award me extra marks just because he reads the word government initiatives. He is going to award me extra marks for border management system and using the word coastal and aerial surveillance. No, he will give marks for government initiatives, not that, but that is not going to fetch you the brownie points, which is going to take you to 10 marks out of 20. Our aim right now in this is to reach up to 6. We will get to 10 in the nuanced lectures, not here. That is something which will take much longer, and I might even have to do a live workshop with you people, so we'll figure that out later. Infiltration is a major threat, and thus infiltrators need to be stopped from entering India. Because he has written the solution, he has written a very simple static conclusion, and then he has left half the page empty. देखो, यहाँ पर कैंडिडेट ने आधा पेज खाली छोड़ दिया है, 2.5 पेज ही लिखा है, लेकिन इस 2.5 पेज में उसने इतनी क्लैरिटी के साथ, इतने एग्जाम्पल्स के साथ और इतने क्लैरिटी ऑफ थॉट से लिखा है, फ्लो ऑफ थॉट के साथ, कि 260-270 वर्ड्स में ही इज़ डन. उसने पूरे टॉपिक को एंड टू एंड एनालाइज कर दिया है. उसको 300 वर्ड की ज़रूरत ही नहीं उस टॉपिक पे चर्चा करने के लिए. तो उसने नहीं लिखा, ही सेव्ड द टाइम. उसने अपना वक्त बचाया, उसने किसी और एस्से में लगाया, उसने सोचने में लगाया. इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू. Last essay I'll go through very fast with this. I'll try. Yeah, it is already about 45 minutes. But this is a quirky topic, that is why I want to do it with you. It is for beginners lecture, but yeah, still I'll do it. Urbanization is hazardous to human health. Okay, this is slightly, you would not have studied this topic before the exam. You would have studied about human health separately, you would have studied about urbanization separately, but you would not have studied both these topics together in the same topic. डायरेक्टली तो नहीं पढ़ा होगा 300 वर्ड्स के लिए. Now that is even the case for me when I wrote the 21 exam, and even for the other aspirants, because these two topics, okay, they are related, but you don't prepare a 300 word note on this particular topic. So but now I'm going to show you how the knowledge from both these parts are written together and correlated, because the correlation is very important. And what is the correlation? The correlation is the word hazardous, that these two are opposite to each other. Urbanization refers to population shift. Okay, good. As per Niti Aayog. Okay, this is a bland starting, but he has supported from urban to rural to urban areas. Okay, it's not too good, but yeah, okay. As per Niti Aayog, 52% of Indians now live in urban. Just because he has sustained his claim with an example on how majority are moving, so the definition checks out. Okay. As cities expand, toll on human health becomes extremely evident, manifesting in various so and so issues, challenges. Now you see, this is the intro which he has written in two parts, in half a page. In the first part, he talked about urbanization. In the second part, he talked about human health. What are the two keywords? Urbanization, human health. He has discussed both of them. And as cities expand, you see this connecting line. What is urbanization? Urbanization is the expansion of the city. Urbanization is the conversion of rural to urban areas. So he has connected the topic also here with the second part of the topic. Urbanization continues to emit higher pollution, GHG, carbon footprint per capita is very high. This impacts human health across the rural urban areas. He has written two sentences and he has used the third sentence to connect these two sentences to the topic asked. Now you see, this is a perfect example of a small, clean and short paragraph which I spoke to you about when I was discussing QCABs, that you should not write long paragraphs. Okay, then the evidence of the hazard is, why he has used the word hazard and underlined it. Pause the video and tell me why. Because it is given in the topic of the essay. Okay, now I know I'm sounding very repetitive, but I'm sure I'm not sure, but yeah, there are very high chances that even after this lecture you write the first essay and you might not be able to write entirely with the entire topic of this, breaking it down. It will take time. Okay, don't lose hope. You have to keep practicing, you have to come to this lecture again and again, and within some time you will improve off. Okay, just after finishing this lecture, if you write an essay, no, it is not a magic pill I'm giving you. It will take time, it will take time for things to mature. The evidence of this hazard is seen by poor air quality index, increasing respiratory ailment. He has connected the word hazard and human health. As per NGO report, one day in New Delhi is equivalent to smoking 44 cigarettes with an exclamation mark. This is to create an awe factor in the exam, that see, this is how bad it is. Urban areas majorly support tertiary sector and have a sedentary life. Therefore, he has connected urbanization with human health issues like diabetes, obesity, noise and light pollution. The very fact it is human health, what is going to what is the bad thing of urbanization? Pollution, that is going to impact human health. So the process of thinking here will be, you think of urbanization, you think what are the different types of pollution. What are the different types? Water pollution, air pollution, light pollution, noise pollution. These are the kinds of pollution. So he has taken each and every type and he has given an example for it. That is how you connect with the urban diseases. Noise and light pollution cannot be ignored. Mental health issues, anxiety and stress is common because of the excess noise. If you live near a factory or near a construction site, you would have realized this by now. The urban concrete jungle is devoid of green spaces, negatively impacting public fitness and mental well-being. All right. Urban slums, he is talking about urban slums and connecting it to poor sanitation infra deficit. See, he has connected urbanization to your human health. He has talking about water contamination, that is your water pollution, industrial accidents, air pollution by styrene leak where many people died in 2021. Yeah, 100 citizens. Sustainable urbanization is the key solution to resolve this hazard. He could have boxed this word key, but yeah, it's okay. So sustainable urbanization is the keyword which this guy has dropped. Government initiatives work hard like Amrut smart cities, this. You don't write this in bullet points, you don't write it in a hub and spoke, you write it just like this in a paragraph. And India should fulfill her commitment to UN SDG 11, make cities and settlements inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. You see, he has used the word the candidate learns and remembers the SDG goals. He used the word sustainable here. He has used the word safe and resilient previously, and he has taken the word hazardous from the topic. Settlements, that is your urbanization area, to ensure urbanization is not a hazard to human health. He has basically copy pasted the entire essay topic again. So this is what I have taught you. Rest essay, I know there is a lot more to the essay. There are lot of things. I haven't even touched on the philosophical essays in this particular lecture. I need to do it, but it will not be a very easy lecture. It will be pretty long. This one itself is 50 minutes by now, so the next one will be long. It will be in a lot of parts. It will require me to do a lot of preparation before I sit in front of you, and I might even need to do some workshops and stuff with you, where you sit and write with me and I explain and everything. We'll figure that out later, but for today you have the basics. You know what to do, you know how to write, you know what not to do. Okay, and then you have seen some good quality examples. You have seen some good quality examples here on what can be done, what is a proper way, how to show a proper flow of thought. Okay, so with this 50 minutes of your time, I call it off. I have almost reached the 1 hour mark, which I kind of expected it to be, but it's all right, it's good. Best wishes. Your exam is on 4th of August 2024. Let's hope we try to meet before that if possible. Best wishes. Practice very well. Practice the toppers PYQs. Take your notebook and see the toppers answer, and you view my lecture just before checking your answer copy. So you suppose you saw this essay lecture right now, you write an essay tomorrow, day after tomorrow, of a PYQ topic maybe, and on the third day you go and you reread the answer of the topper, you read the answer of the topper, you see your own copy, and you view this lecture along with you. Do the same exercise for report and argument also. And I hope this lecture series has been helpful to you guys. I have explained from the basics. हिंदी माध्यम के छात्रों को भी मैंने जितना हो सका है मैंने ध्यान में रखने की कोशिश की है, और मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ ये लेक्चर आप लोगों के लिए महत्वपूर्ण रहा है और आपको बहुत फ़ायदा भी हुआ है इस लेक्चर के कारण। मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आप कुछ दिनों में प्रैक्टिस और करें और आपके मार्क्स इम्प्रूव हों वक्त के साथ, ये मेरी उम्मीद है। बाकी आपके एग्ज़ाम के लिए बेस्ट विशेज़। उम्मीद करते हैं कि मैं आपसे फिर से लेक्चर से मिल सकूं। धन्यवाद।